broken system, chained and tangled up in lies. Voices shouting, screaming in defeat. Politicians playing games under darkened skies. Hope lost in the dust of the street. Red and blue, colors pouring from the sky. Debates turn to anger, oh, the crowd gets loud. Punches flying in the blink of an eye. Truth buried deep beneath the shroud. Welcome to the bullpen, where the weak will survive. These broken dreams we defend, trying to keep alive. Faces on the screen, flashing perfect teeth. But behind those eyes, just rotting greed. Politicians turn to whispers beneath. They all just get what they need. Whispering conspiracies, drowning in their lies. Echoes of freedom, lost in cries. Spin the wheel of fate, let's see who rise. But this game will bleed you dry. Welcome to the bullpen, where the weak will survive. These broken dreams we defend, trying to keep alive. Welcome to the bullpen, where the weak will survive. These broken dreams we defend, trying to keep alive.
I mean, I can, but
Hey, everybody. It's Sunday night, so it's time for the bullpen. Sorry about the false start earlier. I forgot to change the time when I was creating the show on YouTube. So thanks for everybody who went in and started chatting. But now we'll actually do the show.
fair enough.
So how was you guys' week?
You know, not bad. I am very close to getting Site Builder released. I was telling Brahma before we went live that I got the APIs, client portal, and admin portal deployed out today, and now getting everything configured and getting ready to start testing. So yeah, like I said, this month, Site Builder will be going live.
Nice.
Yes, very nice. I'm happy.
I don't understand any of that, but as long as
No,
it's
it's fine.
getting closer to being ready to go, sweet.
API, automated process integration.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I'll be honest with you, I forgot what API
Yeah.
stands for.
I download APIs for, Android systems, sure.
That's
That's how I do most of my sailing of the high seas.
Yeah.
It's an intermediary program that makes one talk to another.
Well, yeah, typically
Right.
it's basically how the modern web works is that most websites talk to an API to get some sort of information. It's like application programming application programming interface. That's what API stands for. Yeah, it's been a while since I actually said the words rather than the abbreviation.
Rather than just API.
Yeah, rather than just API.
From my standpoint, working in finances, we just call it automated process integration because it's how our dashboards load.
Yeah.
We need our dashboards for who's not doing what, how we're doing financially. Why isn't the dashboard working? The API is broken. Call IT.
Yep.
Make them do it.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad everybody's here joining us rather than watching the Grammys like my wife and daughter are doing inside the house. I don't know why. But the Grammys is off to a hell of a start.
Oh yeah, yeah. Brahma showed me some chick's dress. It
Yeah.
was very Hunger Games esque, I would say.
Yeah, Chapel Roan's dress for the red carpet. She didn't present in that, but well, I mean, she was technically presenting in that, but
Yeah, she was presenting something.
she
dancing
didn't
at that
present the
Pink Pony
award
Club.
in that. Yeah. Yeah, actually, we were talking backstage before we went live about that song. Chad, do you want to go over your thoughts on the lyrics of that song? Because I'm sure everybody's heard it. Even at freaking hockey games, they play this stupid song.
Number one, it does have a catchy beat. I'm not going to lie and say it doesn't. But the lyrics, if you listen to them, I'm 100% on her mother's side in the lyrics of this song, where her mother is basically like, "You're a fucking disappointment to me and your entire family, going and working as a whore at that strip club." I paraphrased, but
I'm just having fun at the Pink Pony Club. Come on, Mom.
it's all fun and games till you get chlamydia and pregnant. Not necessarily in that order.
Then it's hilarious.
Yeah, that's just funny. Yeah.
Yeah, so she showed up dressed like a whore. You can see it on Twitter. I can't play it on the stream because we would immediately get demonetized. Plus, if any kids ever watch this stream, even just because somebody else is watching it and they catch a glimpse of it, yeah, it's basically full-on nudity, at least topless nudity. So we won't play that, but we will.
The best way of describing it is that she used her nipples to hold up her dress.
Oh, we've got new. I don't know if you saw the new breaking news about Minnesota with the identities of the ICE officers who pulled the trigger.
That they are both Latino men.
Going to be breaking. Have you heard the names, Comix?
U.S. Patrol Agent Jesus
Ochoa and Raimundo Gutierrez.
That's very Hispanic.
I mean, so it's starting to seem like maybe it wasn't white supremacy. Maybe it was just more brown people killing white people. The narrative flips.
I'm waiting for them to try to figure out how to claim it was racism against brown people.
I like how somebody reported it like yesterday, and then one of the Krasensteins did a tweet, "Breaking news, I have uncovered the names of the agents." It's like, no, you didn't. You just watched the same thing that everybody else did to find out who was doxing them. But he's trying to claim like he did it. He's the one who found it.
Yeah.
Krasensteins are idiots.
The guy that kind of broke the news on the Signal group, did you hear about some of the shit that he discovered? He discovered the admin playbook, or the dispatcher playbook that they have. Mm-hmm. And essentially, in so many words, they're wanting people to die to be martyred. Yeah, it's basically
they need one about every other week so that they can keep the outrage going.
Yeah, it was like I think it was Caleb. Blanking on the guy's name. I'll have to go find it. But it's pretty interesting. He was on Tim Pool's show on Friday, where he was talking about it. It's pretty nuts. But yeah, it's like it has the whole playbook with how they go and interact with ICE, and basically, like I said, it's they want to escalate things to where people get martyred. So they literally want people to die for this cause.
Hey, thanks for the raid, Low Spec. Yeah, I mean, that is the playbook. So we all love Trevor Noah, right?
No, I think he's a fucking idiot.
Question?
Yeah. So this he's the one hosting the Grammys tonight. I find it odd if you look at this that he starts. Of course, he's going to start talking about Trump, but I find it odd who he chose to stand in front of while doing this, because John Legend and Chrissy Teigen were main names named in the Pizzagate stuff. Which the only thing that seems to have come out of this new Epstein files so far that I've seen is that Pizzagate might have been real.
Oh, really?
So,
wow.
Yeah. So interesting choice here, but yeah, here's Trevor Noah on Nicki Minaj.
Oh man, every single person here, John Legend, Billie Eilish.
You turn that up.
Nicki Minaj is not here. She is not here. She is still at the White House with Donald Trump discussing very important issues. Actually, Nikki, I have the biggest ass. I have it. Everybody's saying it, Nikki. I know they say it's you, but it's me. Wop, wop, wop. Look at it. Look at it, baby.
Are you allowed to say wop, wop, wop?
That's racism against Italians. Wow. Great job, Trevor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he hasn't been funny since he started doing the Daily Show. I mean, his comedy was actually pretty funny initially, but that was before all these comedians went woke. He had this great sketch about didgeridoos and native Australians. It was pretty fucking funny. Yeah, he got so much shit for that, and that's part of the reason why I think he went over to the woke mob side. Is because somebody tried to cancel him over a fucking joke.
Yeah, well, I love foreigners telling us how our politics should go.
Yeah.
Well, so, I mean, we got to watch that with. Well, I guess Nikki bought her gold card, so she's not a foreigner anymore. She bought her Trump card, $1 million.
Yeah. Well worth it.
I mean, she's funny. Nicki Minaj, because they've been given, for people who've been paying attention, she's been taking shit for a couple of years now, at least, for saying things pro-Trump. And it's funny because for everyone who's like, going after within the context of the Don Lemon shit, where they're like, First Amendment, how dare you? When using the FACE Act, he clearly is in violation of the FACE Act, and you're negating the First Amendment rights of the parishioners to worship in peace.
We'll get into it.
But in the context of like Nicki Minaj, as soon as she opens her mouth, she's kicked out of the club. I guess to quote Mad, the black card got revoked. And she's now, luckily, she got the Trump card to replace it. See, but on the same side, I don't
keep talking. I'm going to play what Heidi Klum came in to the Grammys wearing because I can actually show that one.
She came into a body mold of herself made into,
and there's no sound, so
yeah.
And she looks like a freaking idiot trying to walk in this thing
because it's a hard plastic mold. It doesn't move. But the point, I don't really care about celebrities speaking one way or the other. I think more often than not, they show their ass when they're trying to do that because they're most of the time, including sometimes the ones who are allegedly conservative, they aren't actually informed about anything more than the average voter. So they're the equivalent of letting, when they do those diner throwdowns where the news goes to a diner to talk to a random person at a table. What do you think of this issue?
Right.
That's effectively what a celebrity is. Just they get paid millions of dollars. So, and their opinions are about as usually less informed sometimes than the people sitting at the diner. So whether it's Nicki Minaj or Bruce Springsteen, who wrote his own Minneapolis song, or any of these people, I don't think that being a celebrity makes you any more qualified to look. I went to college. I studied political science in college. I actually have academic bona fides to justify where I come from on my opinions. I've worked in government contracting for a long time. I've lived in Northern Virginia. I've been in the belly of the beast, seeing it live and in person, in addition to the academic side. I have generally, what I would say, above averagely informed opinions on a lot of things. Now, does that mean everything is? No, because some shit I don't know, and I'm like speculating. And we talk about when we're speculating, when it's a breaking news thing, like when we hopped on that day Trump got shot, and he did.
Right.
For all those assholes who were like, he didn't get shot. Yeah, it definitely
was staged.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to stage something like that.
Yeah, it's just like the same people were like, why don't you shoot him in the leg? It's like,
yeah,
right.
Do you know how hard it is to actually wing a specific area of the body? Like, you're not fucking Annie Oakley with being the greatest sharpshooter in the West over here. You shoot center mass because...
Plus, somebody else lost their life during the Trump assassination attempt.
Yeah.
Not very staged when somebody gets killed in the stands and another few people are severely injured by gunfire.
Well, it happened this week because in Texas, there was another ICE protester who was deciding to run them down. And this time, I think it was the Texas State Troopers, Rangers, Texas Rangers, whatever they call their state police there. They shot.
No, the Texas Rangers are actually different than state troopers.
Okay, then the
Yeah.
Texas
They're more
State
like
Police.
marshals. State
Yeah, they're
troopers are
they're
different.
like state marshals for the most part.
Okay, then the state police were actually providing security like most states should, and they shot the tires out, and the car just kept going, and left. I was like, that's
Right.
that's why you don't shoot tires out. Like, unless you put down a spike strip and you get all four tires, that thing can still go a good while. Like this is it. There's a great clip. It was from the show Blue Bloods. It makes the rounds every time there's a questionable officer shooting. Right. It's in the context of the show. Tom Selleck was the chief of police. His son was an officer, frontline officer, who shot a guy who was holding a gun near a group of kids at a school. And they're like berating him, like, why didn't they just shoot the gun out of his hands and things like that? And so Tom Selleck does a great bit where he's like, all right, let's talk about this. So let's say it was you in their hands. You see the person with the gun. What are you going to do? And the reporter was like, well, I think, bam, you're dead.
Yeah.
Right.
Congratulations. You waited too long. You have to make that decision in like half a second, whether you shoot or not. And if you don't, and the other person had ill intent with the weapon, you're dead.
Which is accurate.
So looping back to the greater point, celebrities come out, and I'm sure I've seen it all day at the Grammys. They've been wearing their anti-ice shit and talking about
almost
ICE is
every
evil.
award speech has been anti-ice,
Yep.
including Bad Bunny, who will be doing the Super Bowl halftime show next Sunday.
If I was ICE, I would go reject him from the U.S. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's Puerto Rican, so technically he has a U.S. passport. Never mind. He's a problem.
Yeah.
He's from a territory. We should give Puerto Rico its independence.
Let it be its own country.
So
just to wrap up the Grammys.
Yeah, I was going to say,
and then we'll go into Don Lemon.
Yeah,
this is Don Lemon at the Grammys earlier at a pre-Grammys party, and all the barking seals, cheering him on.
I'm sure
for breaking the law. And
I am actually surprised that they actually arrested him and charged him with the FACE Act. I am pleasantly surprised, I have to say.
That's loud.
Clapping seals.
Yep.
Great job in helping those people intimidate parishioners at a church. Great job, guy. Great job.
Failed journalist gets standing ovation.
Yep. That should be the headline. Failed journalist gets standing ovation. Yeah.
Yep. So that can be our lead into Don Lemon getting arrested this week. So he did finally get arrested for the FACE Act. The Dims are losing their freaking minds over it. It's not a problem to arrest Owen Schroyer or whatever his name is over at Alex Jones' outfit, or it used to be at Alex Jones' outfit. There were plenty of other people who were arrested that were just covering what happened on January 6th. But when somebody actually goes into a church, stops the service, gets in the face of the pastor tells them to leave, and they hold everybody hostage in the church by not letting them out or letting them go downstairs. That one is, the First Amendment.
Here's the thing. If he was just there filming and didn't talk to anyone, you could say he was being a journalist, right? Some of the the YouTube and Twitter journalists have talked about this, but he actually went there. He brought them coffee. He met up at their secret location. He was basically, he wasn't embedded with them. He was in bed with them. Okay.
Yeah.
So just going in and filming and being a journalist And the funny thing is, the guy that broke the signal gate stuff, I'm totally blanking on his name. Sorry. He was talking about this, and he's like, yeah, it's like I typically show up to film this stuff to provide proof of what's going on. And if any crimes are committed, I'm documenting it so I can hand it over. That's not what he did. He basically went up and tried to intimidate people, accusing this guy of being ICE. I don't know if that was actually the case or not. But he wasn't acting as a journalist. He was acting as I'm not even call this a protest.
Activist.
I mean, an activist.
He was acting as an activist.
Yes.
And your First Amendment rights don't supersede somebody else's First Amendment rights.
Yeah.
And the church absolutely has a right to be congregating and having a church service.
Well, the funny thing about it is like the whole thing with the FACE Act, because the whole purpose of the FACE Act was to stop people from protesting abortion clinics. And so the Democrats threw in the church stuff as a bone to conservatives to get this thing passed.
Right.
And here
Point
we
two
are,
of
like,
the FACE Act is specifically about churches.
here we are 30 years later, and it just boom blows up in their fucking face.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious.
30-year time bomb.
I've got some clips that we can play as we go through this. I'm not a fan of MTG right now, but this was kind of hilarious with Scarborough. I believe this was on Bill Maher. Let me bring in the audio real quick.
The people that went into the church, that were the protesters that went into the church, if under the Faith Act,
FACE Act.
if under the Faith Act,
FACE Act.
right?
FACE.
Oh,
Face.
FACE. It's a federal law.
This guy has a
Fucking retard.
flagship show on cable news.
You know what else this guy has? He allegedly
A crazy
murdered
wife?
his intern.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah, I'm
And
sorry,
he
what-
was a Republican congressman at one point.
I'm just Comix. If you don't know, deep dive into how Joe Scarborough allegedly murdered one of his interns, and that's why he
Really?
left Congress.
Wow.
Yep.
Interesting.
to have faith because it was about church.
Well, the parishioners, the Christians have faith, and they
Right.
were trying to have church, and
Okay.
Don Lemon and a bunch of activists came in and harassed them
Right.
to the point
Oh, no.
children were crying.
Right. But what I'm saying is, whatever that act is, if it is the FACE Act or the Faith Act or the Fake Act, whatever act it is, I think the people that went in and disturbed that church, if they want to prosecute them, then that's certainly, they're
Pause
right
it
to
real quick.
consider that.
Oh, that's the
put
end
a-
of it.
I know, but they put a fucking elderly dude in jail or woman for like 6 years
Praying on a sidewalk
for praying on a sidewalk near an abortion clinic under
across the
FACE Act.
street from an abortion clinic. Yeah.
So
That's ridiculous.
They can quite frankly kiss my ass about like
Yeah.
because they have used this to destroy people for not doing anything but using their First Amendment rights, and this in terms of peaceful protest to actually peacefully protest abortion, all the way across streets in public space, praying towards an abortion clinic for women to come to the realization that they don't need to go through with what they're there to do. And they
Or
put
even
them in
just
jail
praying for the souls of the babies that are not going to make it through that
Yeah.
visit.
So it's ridiculous when they have on camera these people conspiring to cause as much disruption as possible. That Don Lemon was in on it, and he's on camera talking about in on it. He's on camera doing interviews afterwards talking about how their goal was to disrupt and make people feel
The
uncomfortable.
organizer thanked him in the Twitter and actually added him.
Now, here's the funny thing about we've talked about federal district courts before. They aren't drawing like this district court might be based out of Minneapolis, but the way federal district courts go when they're pulling a jury pool is they pull from all the surrounding counties. And as we've talked about before, if you look at Minnesota's map, outside of that urban zone, it's deep red.
Pretty
Like,
red.
and these are the people like they did a poll like about support for ICE, and in Minnesota support for ICE was positive everywhere, like double digit positive, except in Minneapolis.
Yep.
So, and this was after the shooting. And I think we have a couple chats we
Yeah.
should hit.
We got $5 from Mark Daly, who says Lemon is too happy about getting arrested. Someone should have warned him in prison. You don't get to pick your boyfriend. True.
Yep.
And we do have a clip of Dawn on his show today talking about how he's going to go even harder now. The Dead Man for $4.99. Can we get a Murdoch BA and Hannibal act? Face act. So I've got this clip of Abby Phillips before we play the clip of her on her show. So this is her on Joy Reid. I'm not even going to make it full screen. We all know what they look like. So listen to what she thinks her job is.
Conservatives are living in a completely different information world than liberals. And breaking that down needs to be done. Because when you don't ever even hear the facts, it's hard to even know that you're wrong. And that happens a lot. I mean, half my job sometimes is knowing what the latest conspiracy is, so that if it comes up, I'm ready to address it. Because it happens a lot where people don't even know that what they're saying or what they've seen and believe is not true. And so
that's why we have to have a Scott Jennings on your show to tell you what is not true.
Yep.
And he's the one who's having to constantly fight the misinformation on her show.
that happens a lot, and I don't come away from that saying, what's the point of this? People are just saying false things. I think that one time that person brings up something that is debunked and false, and I debunk it at the table, might be the very first time that someone out there has heard an alternative point of view.
Oh, okay. Really? It's an alternative point of view. It's not the truth. It's an alternative point of view. So is she using alternative facts?
Yes, we have our facts and they have their facts, and their facts are definitely true. Nobody else's could be. So that, to tie it into Don Lemon, is Moynihan was on there and made a statement, and Abby tries to use her own facts. It did not work out for her. So we'll play this one real quick.
The question is he a protester or a journalist? And the indictment obviously suggested that he posted himself at the main door. He prevented people from exiting, but ultimately
No, it does not say that.
The indictment
says that protesters did that. It names the other people. It did not say that Don did that.
Look, I just want to respond because you accused me of mischaracterizing the indictment. This is actually a quote from the indictment that Lemon posted himself at the main door of the church where he confronted some congregants and physically obstructed them as they tried to exit, challenging them with facts about U.S. immigration policy. So that is what the indictment says. I'm not stating whether I agree with that, but that's what the indictment says. So look,
they also characterized him as intimidating a pastor who he was calmly interviewing. So I think we also have to, the characterization of him conducting
if I break into your house and stick a microphone in your face and ask the questions without yelling, does that mean I didn't break into your house? Because the defense that he was calmly interviewing the pastor after they had effectively broken into their church services seems like an important point to not skip over.
But it's funny how Abby, her facts don't match what the indictment actually says. And she says the indictment doesn't say it. But she's the one who's got all the facts and needs to tell you when you're wrong and that you're in a bubble and can't understand anything without her help. I just thought that one was funny.
I love the analogy that you used of breaking into someone's house and calmly interviewing them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what they broke into God's house, went over to the preacher, and were, just because you're saying things calmly doesn't mean you haven't committed a crime. Like, how many times have you seen like footage of like a bank robbery, and the bank robber? I remember in Unsolved Mysteries where they would always talk about, like, they'd have the teller on. He was so calm. He just politely asked, like, not raising
Stay
your
calm.
voice.
Nothing's going to happen if you don't do anything that causes tension.
Yeah, raising your voice is not a requirement for breaking the law.
No, it's not.
In fact,
Chad's incapable of it, but Chad could break the law.
breaking the law. Yeah. I hate, and by the way, not to take it back to because I hate with the whataboutisms as a defense. But if you look at what people got prosecuted for on January 6th, there were several independent journalists, like what Don Lemon is now. He's not working for any official
Right.
organization. He's doing his own shit.
Oh, but they're just YouTubers, Chad. They're not actual journalists. They're
Well,
YouTubers.
that's what Don Lemon is now too.
Yes, he is.
So like Owen Schroyer and some of those guys, they were put in jail for going in, and all they did was record. And this because they had the recordings of what they did. They followed people in, recording them. They documented what was taking place, and then they left. And their defense was, I'm a journalist, so I shouldn't be prosecuted. And the DC judges, the district court judges said, fuck off. You're going to jail.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter if you're a journalist, you were part of a riotous group breaking. Well, guess what Don Lemon was? Doesn't matter if he's a journalist. The case law basis for prosecuting Don Lemon was brought about by the Biden administration's Department of Justice, because these are exactly the same facts. Like, if you want to argue that, it's exactly the same facts, where Lemon says he was just following a group that was protesting and
happened to notify him a day before, and he flew out there to join them.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Don Lemon may enjoy prison more than most. So we don't.
Well, it's going to get him away from that white guy, because he hates white guys so much.
Yeah.
The one
we're all mentally deficient. Yes.
He can be a bottom bitch to a 300-pound fat Hispanic guy, I guess.
Yeah, he'll probably stay within his race. That's what usually happens in prison. Ask Keri. Jaffo for $5 says, when life gives you Don Lemon, you make lemonade with extra ice.
Indeed. He got
Tampa
put
Bay
on
Lightning
ice.
do a game outside in Tampa Bay.
Yes, tonight was the it's not the Winter Classic, it's the Stadium Series. And actually, I was going to bring that up because I've got some video from it. You know, most of the hockey players are not American, right?
We're Canadian, right? I mean, it's basically their sport.
Canadian, Russian, all over the place, Sweden, Finland. But the hockey players for Boston, keep in mind, most hockey players are 20 to 35 years old. I mean, 40 is ancient in the NHL. So these are all the generation that we've been talking about, that the males seem to be a little bit more conservative than the females, at least. And we've got some video of how the Boston Bruins came to the arena. So let me bring that up real quick. So
real quick, while you're bringing that up, we'll just read off Jaffo here for $5. When life gives you Don Lemon, you make lemonade with extra ice. Nice.
Yeah, we just read that.
Yeah, we just read that one.
I just like repeating it again.
So this is the Bruins arriving at the stadium for the game.
By the way, the NHL lucked out that this is like the coldest weekend Florida's ever had.
Oh, they had over the field, they had a gigantic tent all week, and then they started dismantling it at midnight last night so that they could be ready for the game. And the game had a goalie fight. This is the first season since 2010 that we've had 2 goalie fights in a season.
Nice.
But,
is Patrick Waugh involved in either of them? Because I know he's coaching.
He was probably cheering them on, but no, he wasn't the coach for them. So this is them entering.
Rocking the Minutemen uniforms.
Yep.
You know what's funny is they had as much dental work as George Washington for most of it. Man, I'm really missing out, because how awesome would it have been if Chara was in there with them still?
Right,
looking
the
8 feet
6'8"
tall.
Chara. So they did ask. So the guy on the left is Nikita Zadorov, born in Moscow, Russian citizen, and he's got a more base take than just about anybody on the left.
Just whose idea was these outfits?
I think it was a lot of guys. The idea behind it was kind of bring something Bostonian. I think with the tied to Boston, and obviously Boston known as the really historical city in the United States. And so we decided to dress up as the Patriots from 17th, 16th centuries. Obviously give the respect to the founded father of the America, and also it's good ties to our football team, you know what I mean? So we're at the football stadium, so that played out pretty well.
Pay respect to the founding fathers of America from a Russian. You wouldn't hear any leftist talk about doing that ever at this point.
That's pretty fucking based, actually.
Yeah. So that's why we're mixing a little bit of hockey into tonight, because, yeah, I thought those were pretty good takes, and I like the costumes.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the game just ended a little while ago. It went into a shootout. I didn't see who won.
Wow, it's pretty bad when people start bringing guns to hockey games.
Oh, there's always guns at hockey games. It's to settle down all the rowdy beer drinking fans in the stands.
Checks out.
But yeah, we did have a goalie fight. Those are always fun. There was a goal scored and then kind of a scrum formed, and the goalies immediately just sprinted out to center ice before the refs could stop them, because they never let goalies fight. So it's good to see. Hockey's healing. So I guess the only thing I'm kind of black-pilled on, because I normally don't get too black-pilled on it, and Chad kind of addressed it already on the Don Lemon stuff, is, do we think we get convictions on anything?
Probably not.
I don't even know if we get a conviction on Charlie Kirk's killer, because all you need is jurors that just don't agree politically. I think on Lemon, I think it's far easier to not do it. And it goes into the thing I was telling you right before the show. Luigi Mangione, a judge, has now said that he will not face the death penalty in his trial, because they basically just dismissed the murder through the use of a firearm because it carried a potential death
Along
penalty.
with
I find that
stalking.
absolutely fucking ridiculous.
The two charges that were removed were stalking, because the judge said, and I quote, "Stalking in and of itself isn't a violent offense." So
Yeah,
why is there a charge called stalking?
Sure. Stalking is not always a violent offense, but somebody fucking died. How is this not first degree murder?
So the way they were doing it is because when
this isn't an accident.
In order to effectuate a death penalty case, you have to have these enhancements that make it beyond regular crime.
Okay.
It's bullshit, but that's what. So the way they were enhancing his crime, the two enhancements to get beyond just regular murder to death penalty murder, was the stalking in the premeditated stalking ahead of the murder, and then,
Right. Okay.
and then the, like Brahma said, the ridiculous one to dismiss, murder with a firearm.
Murder through the use of a firearm.
How do you dismiss that? I mean, that's
what did he die from? He could have had an aneurysm at the same time the bullet went through him. But
yeah. I guess that's a possibility. But the bullet still fucking went through him.
I mean, we make up our own corner information now. Remember George Floyd?
Yeah, I do. And by the way, folks, if you have not already seen this, there's a great documentary about the fall. It's called The Fall of Minneapolis on Rumble, which you should absolutely go and check out, where they go and interview the officers that were involved, specifically the arresting officer, George Floyd, who's not white, by the way. I guess you say
Asian.
He's half white.
Isn't
He's
he?
half white. It's biracial.
Yeah.
It's black and white. Something that kind of gets conveniently left out of the narrative. Talks about the whole thing with the burning down of the police stations and all sorts of crazy shit. Yeah, I mean, you will see what a fucking abortion of justice looks like watching this documentary. It is absolutely insane.
How much they railroaded Chauvin.
Yeah, they certainly did. Well, they railroaded all these guys.
Who can, at the same time, not be a very likable guy.
Yeah.
But also, I don't think he committed murder in any way.
Yeah. But it's and then this guy, oh, well, we're just going to drop the murder with a firearm charge. That thing that he actually did. Fucking A, dude.
That's on video?
Yeah, that's on video. Talk about seeing in real time the two-tier justice system right now, because If this guy was conservative, if he was a Trump supporter, they would be throwing not just the book, the fucking library at him.
Instead, he gets love letters from a whole bunch of leftist crazed women.
Well, you know.
Yeah. Rhaegar was asking what was the name of the documentary? The Fall of Minneapolis.
The Fall of Minneapolis. Check it out.
If you just search that on Rumble,
watch.
you'll find it.
It
may even
must
be on
watch.
Twitter as well, but we both watched it on Rumble.
Yeah, it's one of those things that will literally make you pissed off, like really pissed off.
And it's a well done documentary.
It is very well done. Yeah. The individual who did it was a former journalist in Minnesota.
Yeah, and a relative of a cop, wasn't she?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that segues us to another point. Documentaries. Chad, how's Melania's documentary doing since you're the movie guy?
Third place, 8 million. Surprised it did as well as it did is the general consensus amongst the Hollywood elite. Like
highest opening documentary in how long?
Like 15 years. So it's it came out of nowhere. What's also interesting is the director is Brett Ratner of getting canceled by Olivia
Who got
Munn
canceled?
fame.
Brett Ratner.
He did the Rush Hour movies.
I didn't realize he did the Rush
Yes,
Hour
which is why, which we had talked about the Melania documentary when it was announced that which one is it? Rush Hour 4 is greenlit with Ratner. Chad?
Is it?
Yeah, that was
okay.
I still haven't heard anything really official that's actually happening because Tucker and Chan, I think, haven't said anything on their end, and you're not making Rush Hour without those two.
We'll see. But yeah, the documentary is off to a good start, but people are correct when they are saying that it's going to have a steep hill to climb, because I think the budget I heard on it was 75 million. Does that sound like what you've heard, Chad?
For which one? For Melania?
For Melania.
Oh, I don't think it would be that high.
That's what I've heard reported, but don't know. I mean,
40.
Typically, documentaries don't cost that much.
$40 million.
40.
Yeah,
it's still a sizable amount for a documentary. It seems.
Amazon's off. No, so here's all right. So this is a lot like if you remember the movie Argyle with Henry Cavill and
Cavill
and all those,
the redheaded chick.
That's Bryce Dallas Howard. You put some respect in your mouth when you talk about her.
I'm not a fan.
Do we have to?
I don't know. Why would you not be a fan?
I'm just kidding.
Just not a fan.
You. All right, fine. Uncultured swine. What happened is the movie, I don't know what the actual production budget was. Amazon paid $40 million to get the rights to it for the theatrical release and a follow-up docu-series.
Okay.
So
it'll be profitable either way.
Yeah. So it's like Argyle. There was the big headline that the movie was a $200 million movie. No, that's what Apple paid for it outright. They bought it because Marv, which is Matthew Vaughn, he self-financed the entire movie, and then he sold everything to Apple for $200 million. That takes away his rights to any future earnings, et cetera, et cetera. So in this case, I don't know we have no idea what Brett Ratner actually financed this for and made it. Documentaries usually don't have the biggest budget. If I had to guess, selling it for 40 and making a decent profit, he probably was in the 10 to $20 million range for budget.
Yeah.
If that.
Even that seems high for a documentary. I would think most of them are going to run 3 to 5 million or something like that.
It's just, I mean, actually you're right, given the time frame, they were really probably they probably only had 2 or 3 cameramen that rotated.
Yeah.
Just following Melania around and then the editing and doing some interviews. So it might have been even less, but the 40 million is again, taking away all the ancillaries and all the other stuff. So that's outright Ratner and all those people. They're locked out of earnings forever by doing that. So,
right. So they definitely would have made the contract to make a profit to pay themselves.
So the reason Amazon would pay a premium like that is, number one, they're actually, because Amazon bought MGM, they're releasing it theatrically, so they'll get money theatrically. They haven't advertised it very much, right? They've been doing online stuff, but they were counting kind of more on the average MAGA fan being aware of it and going to theater, which they did at a decent number. And then they wanted to make a splash on Prime and get people to watch it there.
Have you looked at the Rotten Tomatoes scores?
The 10%, 99% split?
Yeah. With over 500 on the audience score, still sitting at 99%.
Is it getting savaged?
Critics are at 10% on it. So you can tell who probably went to go see it was a whole bunch of people who actually like Melania. And then the critics.
Then there's the critics. Yeah.
Rhaegar, I think a few minutes ago, said they saw it. So says you never really hear Melania talk, so it was interesting.
I wonder why.
Well, I think he means in general we don't hear a lot from Melania, so it was interesting to hear her take on things in the.
Okay, I see. Okay, I thought you were in the documentary. I was like, that's kind of weird. Yeah,
it'd be hard to do a documentary where your main focus doesn't say anything.
Yeah, might be kind of weird. Yeah.
Yep. So,
I mean, I think it's anything that actually allows people to maybe get a human view of the Trump family is helpful, because the media, the mainstream media, is never going to present the actual, real living people that they are. They're just going to go with heightened caricatures to scare.
Oh, of course. It's typically what they do, don't they?
While also asking why Melania hasn't been deported, because they're idiots.
I mean, she's married to an American. That's usually how you get a green card sometimes.
Well, no, it's not just that. She's actually a citizen.
She's gotten her citizenship. She did it the right way.
Yeah.
So.
No, I mean, I had a friend. I mean, that's how he got his citizenship was, he got married. He's from Ireland. And, he basically got a green card through that. And it was I think he probably finally went through the process of getting naturalized. But, yeah, I mean, this is like back in the early 2000s, and he was telling me about how they would get visits from, it wasn't ICE during that time period, it was INS. And, basically seeing if the marriage was a farce and whatnot, right? So.
Right, like the Kevin James, Adam Sandler movie. I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
Yeah. Like that.
Well, there was tons of sitcoms have used that as a
trope
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it can help you get a green card, and I think it helps you move up the list a little bit for becoming an actual citizen, but it doesn't automatically mean it.
Right. And I had a coworker, actually, he was technically my boss. He's originally from the UK, and I had no idea because he didn't have an accent. But his parents certainly did. And this is like in the 90s when he got his citizenship. And I don't know how long he was here in the States, but yeah, he eventually became an American.
Cool. Chad, do you want to talk about Virginia a little bit? We'll watch the report on the taxes real quick, and then you can delve deeper into
Did I go to a gun store and finish a purchase this week? Yes.
Why would you do that?
Before it's taxed into the ground?
Grandfather clause. Do I have suppressors on order to avoid that tax? Maybe.
Wow.
Just listen to this list of taxes.
I would if I could hear it.
I'm trying to bring it up.
Virginia are considering passing. They include additional local sales tax in all Virginia counties and cities, new personal property tax on electric leaf blowers and electric landscaping equipment.
What the actual fuck?
So they told people not to use gas motors on stuff, and now they're going to tax the electric stuff.
Like if you own it, you have to pay a yearly tax on it?
I would imagine it's going to be a sales tax.
No, it's not. It's a business tax.
Okay.
So if you're like, for instance, a landscaping company, it will be now part of your property. Like, so Brahma, I don't know if you guys do that in Colorado. Certain categories of equipment in Virginia get taxed yearly on their property values, computer equipment mainly, and cars.
Like depreciating. Yeah.
And yeah,
you put
so
it
they
in the
do
name of the
depreciate.
business and depreciate it.
Yeah, but but the counties will then charge you personal property tax, just like they do in Colorado, probably on your house. They
Yes,
charge
we get
you on
property taxes.
Yeah, so they charge you that on your equipment. So in this case, what they're trying to do is add the landscaping equipment to the personal property tax.
That is so fucking shady.
Oh, there's more.
There's more. much more.
Gun and ammunition tax, new income tax brackets, a delivery tax. This would hit you if you make an order on Amazon, Uber Eats, or an order that includes
As a freight truck goes behind them.
UPS, FedEx delivery, etc. here in Northern.
So getting DoorDash is now going to have another tax. Getting FedEx delivery is going to have another tax.
Sierra Games, this game, I want to say it was like the late 90s, maybe early 2000s. And I wish I could remember the name of it. But it's this guy, he accidentally gets sent to the future. And literally there's a guy that keeps braiding him about taxes, like bad breath tax. I mean, it's like, it's fucking funny because it's like mocking government and stuff like that. And this is, again, it was Sierra Games, which was pretty fucking based, actually.
It was a silly show. Did you ever see Sleepy Hollow on Fox?
Yes,
the fantasy show.
Yeah, I did. I love that show.
Ichabod Crane was actually a Revolutionary War guy. There's a funny episode where he gets a hold of the receipt after him and his partner buy some donuts, and he sees printed out the sales tax, and he's like, "Good Lord, what is this?" And she's like, "Oh, that's just the sales tax," and he's like, 6%. We went to war over less.
For less,
yeah. I think I remember that one. Oh, God, but I gotta see if I could actually find the game trailer for this because it's really fucking funny. But yeah, it's literally the tax guy keeps popping up out of nowhere and like trying to tax the guy for stuff like walking,
like in Popeye the movie with Robin Williams.
Yeah.
The tax collector hits him for absolutely anything he does. It was a joke in the movie, but same kind of thing. So delivery tax.
There's also a tax they're looking at for events, concerts, an investment income tax, storage facility tax, gym membership tax,
gym membership, dog walking.
Yes. All right. So, in Virginia, and this is
counseling.
So here, now this is where it might be different than what you're used to because maybe not in Texas, but probably in Colorado. Virginia has had forever an exemption on professional or services from being sales taxed. So that means gyms fell into the professional services zone. Medical offices, all these things, are
we don't charge tax on insurance policies,
legal fees, insurance, none of that is sales tax. They have the Democrats have been wanting to close that loophole. They call it a loophole on services forever. This is the first time they've actually been able to get the bills filed to do it. Because there's usually enough people who are like, no. But this, I think,
because you're not purchasing a physical object in most of those cases.
Nope, you are not. So that's why it is ridiculous because they've been fighting for. This isn't like if you've been paying attention to Virginia politics. This specific zone of taxes is not new at all. They've wanted to get all professional services taxed forever because they've felt like it was a giant. Virginia, by the way, is more than most states, especially out of Northern Virginia. A lot of stuff falls into that professional service. Government contractors, as an example, professional services. So what they're eyeing is somebody like Deloitte, right? If you're Deloitte and you're providing accounting services in the billions, there's no sales tax being generated out of that. There's employer taxes and things like that. So it's that's why they're eyeing like the big ticket, like Amazon Web Services there's a lot of it based out of Virginia.
Right. Yeah.
So
US East 1 is like the biggest one, which is located in Virginia.
So yeah, so if they can get, this is where the headline, like the stuff that makes the fun headlines is dog walking and this and that and the other. What they're really eyeing,
it's a category,
is removing the category exemption from professional services, and then that opens up the floodgates to get them Amazon and all these other people by the ankles. Now, I wouldn't be surprised by the time this actually gets passed that they're going to end up having a threshold before it would have to be applied to sales tax, where they might say that the business has to take in X hundreds of thousands of dollars and higher in revenue in order to have to, charge sales tax. And that would pretty much eliminate most of the small businesses that are
because
just
like at
dog
a salon,
walkers.
you'll just hire independent contractors and make them rent their booth at each salon so that they're their own employers.
Yeah, so I'm not, that stuff is not gonna, I think by the time, if those things actually pass, there's gonna end up being a lot of carve outs. Now, whether it's still good for Virginia or not, no, it's not. But
yes, but the fact that they're reporting it like this is hilarious, because even though they're breaking it down from categories into individual things that they're taxing, you usually won't see the news admit these kinds of things this blatantly. I mean, they don't like to go against the Dems in any way if they can help it.
And highway use fees. And
that one is also going to be hitting California, it sounds like. They are going to a mileage-based tax.
Yeah. Well, Virginia
it's set to, on average, cost, I think, Eric K was telling me about it, on average like $4,200 a year.
So Virginia's doing it slightly different. They're not doing it by mileage. What they're doing is, if you are driving a class of car, a hybrid and or EV, because you are not paying for gas tax in the same level.
Right.
Virginia already has for electric vehicles, they have a usage fee because to make, hey, I'm going to save money, I won't have to pay for gas. They're like, fuck off, you're paying.
It's why they've been trying to get that fucking mileage per mile tax going, right? This started under Biden. Yeah. This is something that Brahma and I talked about.
Well, the reason that
they're doing it in California.
Yeah. Well, because the thought was the gasoline tax covers that, right? Because your usage of the roads, you drive more miles, you use more gas, you pay more gas tax. You're covered.
Tax, right.
When they started pushing people to adopt electric vehicles, oh shit, our gas tax revenue is dropping. Well, we can never not have revenue, so we have to have more new revenue.
Well, you think they would tax the charging rather than per mile, but that's,
well, you would think that they would just raise the registration fees on EVs then.
Yeah.
Oh, they did that.
That would target EVs specifically.
They did that already. They want to add more to it now. They want to add hybrids.
And this is all while trying to tell everybody you must be driving electric cars by year whatever.
By the way, remember the Democrats in Virginia ran specifically on affordability.
Yes, that was their whole campaign, affordability. And
for the government.
Spanberger is a moderate, not a psychopathic leftist. Yeah, right.
Increase in the hotel tax here in Arlington. Statewide speed cameras. Now, these aren't taxes, but they would include more fines for some drivers. Dry cleaning tax, home repair tax, and a vehicle repair tax.
They should really be listening to their constituents a lot more, because these tax increases are going to hurt those who are struggling the most.
Republicans are blasting Virginia Democrats' tax proposals, asking what happened to all their talk about affordability.
It was a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie.
We've seen that's been the focus.
7 News is waiting for a response from Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger and leadership in the state Senate and the House of Delegates on how this
Sorry,
would
Chad,
make
you got hosed.
I mean, yeah, I knew it. I told Brahma. Remember, I told you, was it like in January before the election happened? I was like, Sears is probably going to lose by 10 to 15 points. She's just going to get trounced. She's
We
a
knew it
terrible
was going to
candidate.
happen.
And she's like, she was the worst. Like Mears, the attorney general, should have been our governor nominee, but Youngkin picked Sears because he wanted to check boxes, and it was terrible.
Yep. Dead Man for $5 says, if you sit too long, I'll tax your seat. If you get too cold, I'll tax your heat.
Sounds about right.
Chad, you had some other stuff going on in Virginia that you wanted to bring up.
What else did we have? We have, the 2A stuff is going on. We got the gerrymandering decision out of Tazewell, which put an injunction
Right. You got
on it.
Yes. That was specifically what I was talking about. The
Yeah,
redistricting.
so now they're ignoring it right now. So even though, all right, so we got out of Tazewell. This county name is Tazewell. A state judge put a permanent injunction on the constitutional amendment process, as I talked about several times on this show, because they broke all sorts of rules. And what do you know? The judge ruled specifically on 3 points. He said, number one, they didn't use proper notice, because there's a requirement that in Virginia, there's legal requirements about posting things before you vote on them. And you have to post it in a newspaper of record in Richmond, which is usually the Richmond Times-Dispatch, 90 days prior to it being voted on. So that in this case, in theory, the general public can be aware of what you're going to be voting on and make comment about it. They did not do that at all. They didn't do any posting. He ruled that because early voting had started, it was inherently flawed, because
The
that
election was
election
already
was in
in
progress. So you can't
progress,
you can pass it this session with the 90-day period fulfilled, and that would be the first one, and then you'd have to wait until 2029 to do it again. Because that's the next General Assembly.
Wow, they are so fucked. Sorry, Chad, you are screwed.
Why? No, this is the judge blocking.
No, this is the judge blocking it.
Oh, sorry. Got
He's
it.
not allowing the redistricting.
No, because
okay.
I don't know if you were on when I've explained the Virginia constitutional amendment process, but it's very cumbersome. Which is, it has to be passed by one House legislature. It has to be passed once. They have to have an intervening election for the state legislature. Then the new state legislature that is seated after that election has to pass it again, and then no earlier than 90 days, and a referendum can be sent to people as part of to run an election where the voters have to approve the constitutional amendment. So it has to go 3 times, which is good. It keeps stupid shit from getting on our books.
No, I mean, yeah.
So in this case, and
you must really want it at that point.
Yeah. So by the way, to address the issue of the notice period, because that was identified as a fatal flaw in their process for a long time, the Virginia State Senate, has introduced legislation to repeal the notice requirement retroactively to 1971. And that's because they don't want people starting to look into some of the other stuff that may have gotten done when it was Democrats controlling the legislature back in the old days. Because apparently they're looking back and being like, oops, maybe we did some other things wrong. And which is another problem, because Virginia has very strong protections against what's called ex post facto laws. You can't change requirements backwards after the fact. Like, so that's also going to be the source of the legal challenges against any gun control legislation they're trying to pass, because they're trying to remove grandfather clauses on magazine bans. They left them in for guns, but they want to ban any magazine with a capacity over 10 rounds.
Yeah.
With no. Yeah. So, yes, Jaffo, they have the Richmond, as I said earlier, the Richmond legislative people are acting right now under the delusion that this only applies to Tazewell and not the entire state, even though the decision has a specific. First, he notified the clerk of the county to make, to not do anything to participate with this constitutional amendment based on his ruling. Then he also said the entire problem is it's destroyed, like the legislature's enjoined from doing anything. The legislature attorneys are pretending that that's not in there, and they're just going on the fact, well, oh no, he only applied it to the clerk of Tazewell County, so it's not going to be. What I have heard on background from other people involved in things is that 13 other county court systems are ready to jump right in and also enjoin the entire thing. Because this judge, he didn't before he made the decision, he called around to make sure. And so
to other judges,
to other counties, to make sure that they would be on board. They're like, I'm not going to if I'm going to go overboard, I need to know I'll have support. And there's 13 counties ready to jump in on his side. And in addition to the gerrymandering verdict, they're also ready to jump in on the gun control, because Virginia has a stronger Second Amendment than the federal Constitution. So it got watered down when it went to the U.S. Constitution. Our Second Amendment is even more clear that you can't take guns and shit away. So
yeah, so it sounds like that's going to be a constitutional challenge then.
Yeah, and the Virginia State Supreme Court is currently majority appointed by Republican governors. So in theory, it should be. But the Virginia Supreme Court is very eclectic. They're very much new. They're not really partisan. They really do go down based on Virginia case law. In this case, it should end up being a win for the conservative side to keep them from ramming this through. But they're very, very interesting. Like, they don't actually have a partisan lean to them as much as they do just, if this is what Virginia's law and constitution says, this is what it's going to be.
Interesting.
That's fucking crazy.
But it's good news. That is actually some good news.
By the way, a lot of these
judge
new
is
taxes,
enjoining one of them.
Yeah, a lot of these new taxes comics are to pay for increased support for Metro, which is the subway system for DC and the Northern Virginia suburbs that go where everyone works in DC. And the fucking president of the Senate, Democrat, was out there and was like, well, the my constituents in Fairfax, the fares are starting to get unaffordable, so we've got to just pay more to support it. So this asshole's on record saying all of Virginia needs to pay more taxes just to support these people in Fairfax County taking the Metro. It was like that quote is getting sent all over the place in Virginia political circles, because it was like the most tone deaf thing you can say. Nobody, like, there's a funny thing where around here, there's a whole bunch of like counties where like, don't Fairfax my whatever, like the same way in Texas, they're like, don't California my Texas, like,
right.
Fairfax is our California internally.
Well, okay, because I know that like one of the things like a number of years ago, I was a consultant for a IT company, and I was out in Illinois, which was where I was at was not in Chicago, and they were kind of talking about like the whole thing. All of them worked in Illinois, but lived in another state. I think it was Iowa. I have to check the fucking state map, or the U.S. map again. I don't fucking remember what state borders Illinois, but yeah, it was fucking crazy, man. Because they would like literally it was like a 15-minute drive to the border, and they were talking about the whole thing. Like literally, all the taxes in Illinois get sucked into support Chicago. So it sounds like the exact same thing here.
Yes, most states that have a gigantic metro area. Toxic Man Flu celebrates 6 months of membership. 6 months, time to leave again. And I believe we got a super from Tox as well. For $5 over on the YouTube
no,
side.
it was. I think it was Indiana.
Comics
sorry,
Comics
it was Indiana.
okay.
Oh, you're one to talk.
Yeah, that makes sense. Indiana is pretty red.
Yeah.
I do have, since Tox is here, we'll play a quick clip of his favorite politician, Mr. Hakeem Jeffries.
Hakeem Jeffries.
Not dialing down that rhetoric at all.
Disgraceful. She's got to go. We are dead serious. She needs to be put on ice permanently. She's got to go.
I think that was poor choice of words
And
on
by the
his
way,
part.
She's not the only one.
Yes, poor choice of words, but there is only one meaning for that saying.
Yes and no.
Either he's an idiot.
I think he's an
and is
idiot.
ignorant of it.
I think he's okay. There,
he's
yeah.
dog whistling
I'm
again.
gonna put him on ice. Typically, yes, is usually code for offing someone, but putting something on ice typically it usually means pausing it. But I mean, it could also be a very good possibility that he's trying to signal to the fucking wackaloons out there to try and kill Christie now. I mean, at this point, I wouldn't put it past the Democrats at this point, based off of what we've been seeing coming out of Minnesota at this point, and the fact that we have all these celebrities saying, "Yeah, you need to find out who's MAGA so we can take care of the problem." That was fucking the crazy redhead. Kathy Griffin, who said that.
Kathy Griffin. Yep.
Yeah. And then you had one caller, Esposito, basically talking about how we need to have revolution and it's okay if, 500 to 50 million people
we've got
die.
That clip too.
Yeah.
Talks for $2. When did he get a lisp? Too many Diddy parties. But yeah, Rhaegar is completely correct. It's no different than Comey with the 86-47 thing. And you know what it means, even if you are trying to be cute about it.
86-40. Oh, 86-47. Yeah.
Yeah, the seashells that he found just randomly and took a picture of it and put it on his Facebook and Twitter accounts, not knowing that that has any kind of connotation of something.
Oh no, that totally has something to do with killing a political official in Rome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
if he just at 86-47, because usually 86 means throw it out. Now, if you said deep 6-47, that usually means kill him.
Well, 86 in restaurants is we're out of it. It's gone.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And there's we're 86ing the steak because we ran out of steak.
Okay.
That kind of thing. But so we've got, I don't know if you've seen this one. Either of you. Have you guys heard of this guy, Elliot Forhan, who's running for AG in Ohio?
No.
Oh, is this the one where he was like, I'm going to take the death. I'm going to
put
him
yes.
in jail.
Yes.
I will kill Donald Trump is what he is.
Yeah.
And then he tries to act all cute about it. By
sending
him in
to
jail
prison.
and prosecuting him. Let me turn the volume down a little bit because it was loud on the preview.
Hi, this is Elliot Forhan, candidate for Ohio Attorney General. I want to tell you what I mean when I say that I am going to kill Donald Trump.
I love how they had to start out
a
kill.
Conviction rendered by a jury of his peers at a standard of proof beyond a reasonable doubt, based on evidence.
That's not killing
Presented
somebody.
at a trial
Dumbass.
conducted in accordance with the requirements of due process, resulting in a sentence duly executed of capital punishment. That is what I mean.
Okay,
when I
pause
say
it right there.
That I'm going.
That's the end of it.
Okay.
So,
right. First
for what
off,
crime?
yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. What crime are you going to convict him on and get a death penalty conviction for? I mean, because usually capital punishment is reserved for like the worst of the worst. Usually, I guess treason, if he's want to going that route, or capital murder usually gets the death sentence. So who did he commit capital murder against? Or are they going to try and nail him for treason of some kind?
It sounds a lot like Letitia James saying, make me the AG or a district attorney and I will find the crime to pin on him. We will get the outcome that you want.
Yeah. I'll show you the man. I'll show you the crime. That's what it sounds like to me. That's what a lot of
I
these
was waiting for. I figured you'd go there.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're not turning down the rhetoric at all.
No, not.
There's no change in
guys,
their
guys,
tone.
we got to tone down the rhetoric, right? I mean, it's the right that's ramping up the rhetoric after Charlie Kirk got killed, right? I mean, it's the right, and they need to turn the heat down a little bit, right, guys? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. It doesn't apply to you. Okay, I see how this works.
Well, I mean, we did have an attack earlier this week. You know, not proven to be from the right in any way, not even really proven to be an attack, but Juicy Omar, you know, having her little staged attack, allegedly.
With apple cider?
Apple
Or
cider
apple
vinegar?
Yeah, apple
cider vinegar, which, by the way, is a substance that is not in any way haram and is not going to cause any issues.
Oh, really?
It's amazing how
weird how they picked that.
Well,
by the way, and people who go to her events are screened, and water bottles aren't usually allowed in. And this dude had
a water bottle
and a water bottle, and she looks right at him right before the
and
incident,
gives
when
a
she
slight nod.
Gives him the
little
nod.
nod, like this is the moment in the speech you're supposed to do something.
Yeah, here we go.
DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
Nod. Spray.
And
who, when you're attacked by, or somebody sprays something on you, immediately runs towards that person.
Well, and
no
not
survival instincts unless she just knows that it was coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
And who would not go to try to get it cleaned off, not knowing what it was.
Not knowing what it is. Yeah.
None of her reactions make any sense. And I know we've all heard it all week, but this is the first time we've been able to address it as far as the Bullpen show. So we're not going to spend very long on it because it's just another Jussie Smollett thing. But also, why was this guy shown, so prominently right before?
Applause for Congresswoman Omar's staff who's here. So, hi everyone. I'm MadEPAP.
Why would you even have cameras on the dude?
Mm-hmm. Unless you are trying to set the stage for something like they just did.
None of it makes any sense.
No.
But, now one of their politicians has been attacked. So we've got to turn down the rhetoric.
Oh, are people calling for toning down the rhetoric right now because of that?
People on Twitter are very upset that we don't buy that she was attacked.
Oh, jeez. How awful for them.
It's weird because if there's one thing Somalians have become known for, it's fraud.
Yeah, I mean, and being honest. I mean, come on.
And she's definitely not going to be, further investigated, right? I mean, so she's got to get the spotlight back onto something else other than her fraud.
Yeah.
Because Comer said today, I think it was, we may not investigate her since she's a sitting member of Congress, but we sure as hell are going to investigate her husband.
Good.
So the oversight committee is going to be talking to the husband and digging into some of his financial details, because you went from negative 65,000 to 30 million in a 1 year span.
Mm-hmm.
In a state wrought with fraud.
Jeez, I mean, maybe they're just honest, hardworking Americans, Brahma. I mean, have you ever considered that? I mean, it just sounds like you're being
American
racist.
dream. Living the American dream, just taking all of our money.
Yeah.
Love it. It's the only time the Democrats seem to believe in the American dream is
defrauding their fellow
defrauding
American
everybody
citizens.
else. Yep.
Gotta love it.
Since we brought up the Giancarlo Esposito, let's take a look at that, because we've got him. Well, award and Sundance. The award season's in full swing. Sundance just happened. Everybody, all the celebrities are out there weighing in on ice and politics to try to get their checks to get their movies done or distributed, I guess, in the case of Sundance. But that's where we keep getting all these clips from these idiots. So we'll take a look at his statement. And yes, there are some things about this statement that should be pointed out, because we talked about it on George's show earlier today, but he's very much saying a very specific thing.
Yep.
We'll see if you catch it.
This is time for a revolution. it's time for it, and they don't even know that's what they're starting. You know, some very rich old.
We all know
white
that's what
men
you're starting.
Are exerting their power to suppress our own people.
Pause it
creating.
real quick. I want to point something out. I mean, you take a look at the picture on the right. Obviously, looks a lot more masculine. You look at the picture on the left, and you're like, since when did he become your lesbian aunt?
Yeah. It's very Elton Johnish.
Yeah, it kind of is, man.
Might be a little bit light in the loafers.
Yep.
He is in Hollywood.
True.
Theater kids.
A feeling of civil war in the streets, preparing the haters to hate, teaching them how to shoot. They're not even trained right, to kill. This is all a preparation for a very insidious.
Well, haters are going to hate. That's
don't you Taylor Swift here.
Well, and the funny thing is, he's talking about like ICE and the Border Patrol. It's like, but what about your side? Okay, I mean, your side's the one that's basically acting as insurgents. There's actually a playbook that these dispatchers use. They want people to die because they want them to be martyred. But no, it's all for the cause, and it's fine. It's okay if people die if it's for the cause. And God forbid we actually enforce laws in this country.
Every liberal talking is basically Lord Farquhar from Shrek. Some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Yeah.
Which, let's get through the rest of his statement, because that is the point of it.
Yes.
There is no discussion of him being involved.
No.
It's, you guys should go do this. Rise up in revolution. You poor people, you plebs, take care of this. I'll be fine after.
Problem that's happening.
Okay,
in
pause
our
it
world.
real quick.
And
The thing he doesn't understand is that once his glorious revolution is done, the people that have been screaming "Eat the rich" are going to start looking at him.
Yes. And they're rabid at that point.
Yes.
For me, I have to speak out that we will not be iced out. This is not going to happen. They can't take us all down. If the whole world showed up on Putin's doorstep,
The whole world's not on your side, dude.
or in Washington, it would they'll kill 550 million, however, but the rest of us would survive with a new. This is time for a revolution. It's
That's plenty. They might kill 550 million, but the rest of us will survive.
We'll survive. Yeah.
We'll be
Including
okay.
me, because I'll be safe in my mansion. I don't want to say this. I'll tell you guys offline. It's just like, because I don't want people to take it the wrong way, because I'm kind of making a joke, but kind of not at the same time. It's like, anyway, I'll tell you guys later.
When is it ever a good idea to have Jane Fonda come out speaking on behalf of your movement?
Well, I mean, it's Jane Fonda. She's like the leftist Jesus, right?
She's gonna do it, right?
I'm Jane Fonda.
And I'm Jane Fonda's internal lesbian anger.
Dana, I'm not a lesbian.
There's still time, Jane. There's still time.
I've been fighting injustices like these for a very long time.
She's been
Pause
fighting
it.
like this for like 100.
Okay, she's been fighting for very bad people. This is the woman who was videotaped on a VCONG. What was it? Not a mortar.
It was an anti-aircraft
gun. Thank you. AA gun. Yeah. Thank you. I was trying to remember what it was. The VCONG. The very people that American citizens were fighting and dying over. She went and did a photo op with the VCONG on an AA gun. So fuck this bitch.
Mm-hmm.
100 years, everybody.
Oh, let's not go that far.
70? 70?
That's better.
She's been fighting like this for like 70 years, everybody.
So I'm here to remind you to exercise your First Amendment rights.
Fight for the Constitution.
Yeah, the piece of paper you don't give a shit about.
Freedom of assembly.
Get your asses out on the street.
It's time to be brave and stand up. Enough is enough.
Jane, that was really good. What she said.
Was that really good, or was it really
was
just
fucking
super
retarded.
cringy?
It was retarded.
Yes.
I'm her internal lesbian anger. Okay.
She must work for Pixar.
Chad, you'll appreciate this last one of crazy celebrities saying stupid things.
The protest here,
Steve Kerr.
and
Can you turn it up?
will lead to
Um,
better.
I just don't think this one has all that much volume.
Okay.
See if I can pump it up a little bit.
Solution for
That's better.
immigration. It's not like they're rooting out violent criminals. They're taking 5-year-old kindergartners and
They're taking 5-year-olds.
Now, do you have the follow-up to this one? So Steve
I just
Kerr,
have the rest of this clip.
Yeah, so he
got fired?
No, that someone actually told him what actually happened, and he actually did an apology where he was like, I didn't have the full context of the situation. I didn't realize the dad was just leaving the kid by himself.
No, I mean,
But
you
he's
kind of
known
have to.
for popping off without having information in his press conferences about political things in general.
Yeah, that's why it was interesting that
Yeah.
he actually came back and made like something was so bad, like it was so egregious that he actually apologized for once.
Good. That at least shows some level of learning. But yeah. So we got Steve Kerr. I did not see the apology. So there's just so much. We've got 30 minutes and we've got so much more stuff. This one's funny. So this we'll just do this segment as Clown World. So this is one of those guys like Harry Sissons that is just one of the Twitter bros. This is Parker.
Okay.
And this is his take on how Americans should deal with Somalians specifically not speaking the language.
I know it would make most sense in that context. Either you learn the language, right, of the area where most people are speaking that language, right, or you decide to go to a different area where people speak the same language as you. That's your choice.
Wait, did you say I should do that or what?
Either learn the language or go to an
majority, like what they're doing here. We majority speak English, and they should come and learn our language.
Wait, you're not understanding. There are different areas in the country that disproportionately speak different languages.
That's not true.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay. And in those communities, it would make sense to speak those languages. Right?
Okay, pause it. Okay, all right. Texas, obviously, the second language is Spanish, but most people here speak English. English is the language that we speak in this fucking country, okay?
Right.
I can understand the fact that if you have a large immigrant population coming in, like with the Germans and Italians and whatnot, that this is how it used to be, folks, is that when Italians came to this country, they would speak English outside and speak Italian at home so they can maintain their heritage. And it's like, it's the whole assimilation
Part of assimilation.
thing. It's part of assimilation. So the whole thing with the idea of, and to a degree, you see this with Chinatown as well, where if you live in Chinatown, you can get away with not speaking English or knowing English, which I, again, find stupid.
They'd be surprised if you did speak Mandarin to them.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the whole idea of saying, oh yeah, there's just pockets in this country and you should learn that language and not, they shouldn't have to learn English. It's like, fuck off, dude. This is America. And this is like one of the things that people have been complaining like since the 90s about saying English is the national language of America. And that's something that I wish that they fucking passed because it would put this fucking argument to bed. That way we have every single document in English, no other language. If not, you end up like Canada, where you have 50 fucking signs in every goddamn language on the planet. It is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
But his point to his caller is, well, you should learn their language because they are the majority in that area.
No!
Or you should leave. Not they came to a country that is English speaking, so they should learn English. It's, well, if you're in a Somalian neighborhood, you should, or in a city like Dearborn that's being taken over, you should learn their language. They don't have to learn your language. You're the minority in that city.
Oh, fucking
That's
shit.
not the way this country works. No. Assimilator, get out.
Agreed.
So that's Parker. So that's part of the clown world. Now, this one is one of our favorite guests on CNN, Cornel West. I'm sure you guys will recognize him once he's on the screen.
Oh, I know who Cornel West is.
Yeah.
And
I mean, everybody in
from
chat,
people
too.
who have been demonized and vilified and terrorized for 250 years in the American experiment.
Just watch Scott Jennings'
That's what it
face.
is to niggerize a dignified black people. Make sure that they are intimidated, terrified, full of fear, and not able to straighten their backs up. But thank God the Black Freedom Movement straightens our backs up. Well, what we're witnessing, and this is why the larger picture is important here, we're at we're right on the edge cliff in terms of the possibility of America sustaining itself as a social experiment in the best sense of just becoming an empire full of might and force. So when you niggerize a whole country, you start treating all of your citizens the way black folk have been treated for 250 years. So when I see the police killing these two precious folks, Sister Renee and my dear brother Alan.
Jesus Christ.
And I've had so many partners killed by the police growing up on the chocolate side of town, right? What has been the response?
And pause it.
Thank God for Martin King.
It's almost
How do we learn how to
Okay.
love in the face of
Well, I was gonna say, it's like, what did they
How do
get
we learn
killed
how to
for?
fight for freedom for everybody in all parts of town in the face of all of this terror? And America now has the blues. If you don't learn something from the best of the blues people, we're going to lose the democracy. So this is not just about meticulous details. We're talking about something huge at stake.
It does seem that.
Okay,
I like that everybody just sat there like, let him cook.
Yeah. Okay. So did you hear about what's going on right now at Democracy Now! And how they have suddenly become against body cams for cops?
Right, because all the proof shows that
Yeah.
it was exactly the opposite of what they thought it would show.
Yes.
The body cams 9 out of 10 times completely negate the story that's told. We did a clip on Ascendant Art on the show, and I think, Brahma, were you there when we were showing the girl, like, where she told, he threw me on the ground and knocked my teeth out, and then they cut to the body cam, and she ran from the police officer and then ran right into a pole.
Ran into a pole.
Oh my God.
Knocked herself out.
So the guy basically on Democracy Now! He wrote this book called Copaganda, and it's funny. He's basically saying body cams are bad because it's perpetuating basically stereotypes and the wrong message. And it's like, it's like you couldn't find the evidence of these cops being racist. All these people were just doing bad shit all along. Oh my God, who saw that one coming?
Yep.
Obviously not them.
And like we've said, there are bad apples, but the body cams have proven the opposite of what they wanted for the most part. Have you guys heard of this this chick Tiffany Cross? She's been making appearances left and right on CNN, but she's the author of Love Me. So what is he called on the Shark Tank? Mr. Wonderful.
Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah, Kevin O'Leary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't take any of her crap in this. It's funny.
This is a man who has the FU money, so he can do this.
Okay, no audio.
No audio?
No audio. Oh no, Chad.
I think I muted in between it. There.
I wasn't hearing it either.
Okay.
Furthermore,
Now I
there's
got
a
it.
reason why we have not seen a resurgence of the Proud Boys. And that is because I believe a lot of them are likely made ICE officers. Again, I've said this on the show before, I've not seen any deep dive reporting into who these people are, but they certainly adopt a lot of the ideology, a lot of the tactics, a lot of the violent tactics, a lot of the wearing masks, and it sounds a lot like their founder, what they initially put out. And so because
Their founder, Gavin McGinnis.
Gavin McGinnis? Yeah. I don't remember the Proud Boys ever
He's
wearing
more
masks,
likely
by
to
the way.
whip out his dick than to go wear masks out on the streets.
Stephen Miller backtracks, I don't really care. I wonder about all the incidents that are not caught on videotape. I wonder about all the people who are sitting in detention centers right now as we sit here, who are malnourished, who are without life-saving medication, children who have been kidnapped.
Did you just say ICE officers are
militia?
Yes, have you not been paying attention?
Yeah, I
they
think you're
certainly mirror
stretching it a
the
little
Gestapo.
bit. You know, that's very.
I don't think I'm stretching anything. I
Yeah.
think we have seen
That's
what we have
bullshit.
not seen.
You know,
What we have
this
not
is
seen are
actually a
gang members committing
this is a
violence. What we
federal
have seen
state
are
mandate.
ICE agents
Hold on one
pushing
second.
that a little bit
But
there.
Tiffany,
That's
you're
way
saying that
offside.
you're just making a supposition here. There's no concrete evidence.
You
of
got to be
actual
careful.
Proud
That's
Boys members.
way
there was
offside.
some supports.
DHS.
There was
These are men and women
actually,
serving the
we
government,
have seen white supremacist tattoos.
risking their lives,
on-
serving the government.
It's like trying to listen to FNT with all the overtalk.
risking their lives. They're taking lives.
You're calling them
Kevin.
Proud Boy militia.
You're-
Did you say that?
I did not call them a Proud Boy militia, but I think it's disgraceful that you're sitting here. I'm actually not, but I think that there are white supremacist tattoos.
It's like you're debunking my point, so I'm going to shame you for doing that. Shame on you for trying to counter what I'm saying. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
These people don't live in reality. Oh my God. It's
I
so
did not
fucking
say
great.
Proud Boy militia. I just said that the Proud Boys are who make up this militia that is called ICE. That's not saying that the same thing. I mean,
You literally
crazy.
just said Proud Boy militia.
Yes.
Very long-windedly.
But now she's going to talk about how the ICE officers all have white supremacist tattoos and stuff. It's great.
White supremacist federal officers.
Yeah, white supremacist
Okay,
federal officers.
Like, where are you going with this? Why would you say that?
I'm going with my eyes, ears, and logic. There have been multiple ICE agents who have white supremacist
Men and women
tattoos
working
on their
for
necks.
the
Let's talk about the black gay ICE agent, by the way, that was out there being filmed. Did you guys see that one?
No, I didn't see that one.
Oh, it's a fucking hilarious clip. It's black guy. He's very, very effeminate. He's an ICE officer, and he's being Karened by two white women. It's absolutely hilarious. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, and then you have the two Latino guys, and yeah, it's not just white guys that are signing up for this. By the way,
Well, and where the two Latino officers were from, I believe, was Texas.
I'm not surprised.
That's where the doxing led to, and that doesn't surprise me at all because, of course, there's a lot of ICE agents that are from Texas because they're very greatly affected down in Texas.
Yes,
they are on the border.
You would be surprised at the number of Hispanic people that live in Texas that are not for illegal immigration. It's a thing.
Mostly the legal immigrants.
Yes, or the people who've been here a long time.
Yes. Before we get too far from Kerr, Toxic Man Flu for $5. Stephen Kerr knows nothing. He is the Toxic Man Flu of basketball coaches. And Dead Man for another $5. The Democratic Party, the party of slavery, Jim Crow, shot JFK, shot MLK, and communism.
Yeah.
Yep. But Cornell West says, being on the left is much better for the black man.
I can't even repeat what he said because it's fucking funny.
Who said? Cornell?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised they let that go out on the air. But
well, it's being said by a black man. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah. Oh, where to go next? So that's our clown world of the left this week.
Oh my God.
What else did we have happen this week? Oh, we do have, we can all have a quick laugh at Trump because he was talking about China and Canada and how we don't want...
they'll take away ice hockey. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. The audio, there is a lot of background noise, so I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Just hopefully we can hear him.
This is one of his Air Force One's briefings.
Yeah, and we don't want to blow out everybody's ears with the
much appreciated
sound in the background. So hopefully this isn't too bad.
And the Canada tariffs, sir, that you talked about, are those coming? Well, that was on the airplanes. Are you talking about the China deal that they did? Well, if they do a deal with China, yeah, we'll do something very substantial. Because we can look, I have a great relationship with China, President Xi, but we don't want China to take over Canada. And if they make the deal that he's looking to make, China will take over Canada. And the first thing they're going to do, end ice hockey.
First thing they're going to do is end ice hockey.
I mean, probably not, but I mean, you never know.
But that's how you get Canadians' attention.
Yep.
Tell them they're going to take away hockey from you.
What's this, a boot? You're going to take away our hockey?
Did you guys see Michelle Tafoya announced for Minnesota?
Yes.
I actually think she's got a legit shot more than the average person. Minnesota tends to do that and like be okay with weird kind of outside the norm nominees. If I was
for what?
Senate.
Senate,
She's
yeah.
going to run Republican. Michelle Tafoya got fired for being conservative. I don't know
ESPN, correct?
She was for like umpteen decades. Like
sideline reporter.
She was their sideline reporter. And as soon as I think it was during COVID, came out with conservative stuff, kind of like Sage steeled her right off the air.
Wow.
Yep. I did find, I think it's probably already gone around everywhere, but we had some more Candace Owens fails. So this guy made a video of him acting along with Candace. So we'll play this real quick because it's funny. Her inability to pronounce words.
Candace, let's do a take and just be mindful of the pronunciations. Let's not do anything weird.
I have so many explosive revelations to share with you.
Oh, wait. No, it's revelations. You know what? We can move on.
If you can't compartmentalize.
No, sweetheart, it's compartmentalize. Just take that one more time.
You have to be able to compartmentalize that.
Compartmentalize.
And we have to compartmentalize. Compartmentalize how you feel about somebody personally.
Are you doing this on purpose? Is this a bit? Are you trying to get clicks or something?
Can't compartmentalize. But really, it was about the architecture.
Oh, this is the big one. It's architecture.
You just like the architecture.
Architecture, not architecture.
Love the architecture.
Architecture.
Yeah, no, like he loved the architecture of things.
You really don't know how these words are pronounced? You speak for a living.
Prince Harry abdicates England, causes this whole race kerfluffle.
Oh, no, it's kerfuffle.
We knew a kerfluffle happened.
Kerfuffle.
Because this dress kerfluffle.
Pronounced kerfuffle. Kerfuffle.
Designed quite literally with the intention to mock me and Tucker Carlson. It's always got to be Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens.
It's Candace Owens.
Candace Owens.
Candace. Let's cut here. I'm going to go take my life.
She mispronounced her own name.
I get
yes,
that.
we stumble on words every now and then when we're talking, but she multiple times mispronounces the same words over and over, so she just does not know the words.
Architecture.
Yes.
Architecture.
It's almost like it's almost like either whoever writes her scripts for her throws in words that she knows she can't say, or her staff is just too scared to actually correct her. Because there's no way your producer is letting you just sit there and mispronounce the words without saying, yeah, it's actually pronounced this way.
Yeah.
Unless
hey, I have an excuse.
Of her.
I'm a fucking dyslexic. Okay. I will vapor lock on words reading an article. It happens all the time. You guys have seen it. You know, it happens. But I have an excuse. I don't know what her excuse is.
And we're just lowly YouTubers. Of course she is now too. But and like he said in the video, you're paid to speak English for a living. So thought that one was funny. We do have some other political stuff. I don't know if you guys heard about this story out of Canada. Let me see if I can bring it up.
Is it the Kanakistani missile crisis?
Nope. It's worse than that.
Okay.
So this is from the Post Millennial. Let me bring it in here. Talks for $2 can confirm Comix is retard.
Absolutely. Wouldn't have it any other way.
So we'll just bring the article in here. This is where we're getting the information from. But so Canada apparently decided to now execute somebody against their will.
Oh,
with the MAID project
with the MAID
program
service?
Yes, the woman, for religious reasons, was saying that she would not want to be suicided. and they had
They
a
said tough
doctor talk to her. The husband, because she was elderly and she wanted to go into hospice essentially, or into what's the other H word that they do for that kind of care? Chad, do you remember?
For what was that?
End of life care, basically.
It's usually hospice.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
Hospice
but it's the other one. It's the one where it's basically, keeping you comfortable.
That is hospice.
Yeah, but there's another word for it. But either way, so she would have preferred to go into
Getting up
say,
for a second.
hospice.
Hospice, typically, there are two forms of hospice. There is end-of-life care, like you're talking about, and there is additional care, which is also hospice. Like my wife, her mother was on hospice, which was not end-of-life care, even though that's ultimately what it turned into.
Palliative is the one I was thinking of, not an H word. Palliative care.
Palliative care, yeah. But hospice can be, it's not just end-of-life care. Most people think of it being end-of-life care where they make you comfortable. But she was in a nursing home, and she was also in hospice because the nursing home wasn't able to tend to her enough. So they had to bring in extra help, which is where the hospice came in.
Right. So she would have preferred to enter palliative care. Her husband, who is just sick of taking care of her, was like, nope.
Offer.
It's time for MAID. So they brought in 3 different doctors and to assess her situation. And they basically just talked her into it. So technically they didn't do it against her will. She finally agreed to it. But they basically just hounded her into it. Not only that, but it was like, she's discharged from the hospital. The husband's like, yeah, I don't really want her discharged for the hospital. We need an urgent assessment. They sent people within a day and then had her dead like the next night.
Holy fucking shit.
So if somebody's raising doubts about whether they want to be euthanized, you would think that you would at least wait to actually kill them until you could determine what their state of mind was about whether they were coerced into this or not. But they were happy to just get it over with.
Of course. Get rid of the useless eater at that point. Pretty sure what they're going for.
So now apparently in Canada, it's okay to off somebody against their will under the MAID program.
It's fucking disgusting.
Yep. That was a big flare. So yeah, saw that, thought we would bring it up because we've talked about MAID many a time on this show.
Well, here's the thing. These are the same people that scream bodily autonomy for abortion. But when it comes to killing off another person, yeah, it's fine. It's no big deal. Fuck them. Fuck what they want.
Yep.
It's fucking, this is evil shit. Fucking evil.
And then we do have a tie-in with hospice because we are now getting reports of fraud out of California, of all states.
California.
So, let's check this one out real quick.
If only we had one of our OC bros here.
If I can get the video to actually open up. It won't let me stop screen sharing the story. There. So the tie-in is that it is all the fraud seems to be hospice centers in California so far. So they've found one doctor specifically that said that he had like 2,000 patients.
Was this the one getting like 120 million a year?
Yes.
Yeah. They've been dying a long time, those patients.
Mm-hmm. There's the media player.
I mean, statistically, one of them should have kicked off by now.
You would think.
One doctor billed the government $120 million in a single year, claiming to oversee 1,900 patients. With almost
one doctor has 147 hospice locations with 1,900 patients.
Can I just go over logistically, having managed healthcare, how ridiculous that number as a caseload automatically should be?
Mm-hmm.
Like, immediately, you don't need AI to do any kind of analysis to flag this as like Uber fraud. Like you are not managing that many cases with one doctor.
Well, I think they go into it in this report, but I think the number that I heard was 38% of all hospice care in this country that is taxpayer subsidized is in LA County. I think that's what they're getting ready to go into.
Dr. Oz was out there, which makes sense because he runs Medicare.
Right.
He does CMMS, Center for Medicare and Medicaid Studies, which is what actually pays the bills for Medicare and Medicaid.
Agencies, LA County has more than 36 states combined and 30 times more than either Florida or New York.
18% of the whole
18%.
country's home healthcare billing
Oh,
is
there
coming
he
out of
is.
Los Angeles County. How is that possible?
And take
Holy
a look at this
fucking
map.
shit.
A cluster of 287 hospice providers in a 2-mile radius, some in strip malls, unmarked buildings, even a wrecking yard and vacant lot.
All of it is just paperwork. I could fill that out in Kazakhstan if I want and get a hospice license waiting for me.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the
Now
look
ask
into
him-
California fraud begins.
And yet we can't
Well-
get any permits for anybody in the Palisades to rebuild their house.
Yep. Well,
Right.
okay. Here's the other thing too. That's another issue. Is that the homelessness crisis in California, specifically in LA, is exactly the same way. It is. There's so much fraud with that. Colleen Noir talked about that, like, I don't know, maybe like 10 years ago at this point. But it was really interesting when he was kind of on sabbatical between what he was doing for the NRA and doing his own YouTube channel. He went and basically did his own documentary. Or maybe that was sponsored by the NRA. I don't remember. But yeah, he went all over no, this is when he was on break with the NRA. He went around to all these different cities and was talking to them about various things, like the needle crisis in Seattle. But yeah, specifically, he was talking about the homelessness shit going on in California and how it's a business. It's a business. Therefore, the problem doesn't fucking get solved.
Yeah. It is a business for, well, I'm sure there's plenty of it on both sides, but we're seeing it pretty heavy in the left blue states right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I have no doubt they'll find some in Texas, Oklahoma, anywhere that we're sending our taxpayer dollars to subsidize medical stuff. I'm sure there's plenty of it going on.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado, very specifically, I would believe that it's going on. Just to stay on brand, let me see if I can bring this up, because there is a new gal running for Senate, U.S. Senate, out of Colorado, trying
Does
to
she
take
have
the
boobs as
take
good
the
as
crown
Bobert?
from. Yeah, she's trying to take the crown from Bobert as the hottest elected official, I guess, from a state.
Mm.
Let me see if I can blow it up. So this is, I just had her name, Amanda Calderon. So never been in politics. She's running for U.S. Senate, Christian, wife, conservative, Colorado native.
That's weird.
Probably
you
has
say
no
that
chance of
because
winning.
I see these pictures and e-thought immediately comes to mind.
Well, the funny thing is, if she dressed like Boobert, she might actually get elected.
So soon I'll have some great campaign ads to be watching, kind of like when Boobert's running.
Yep.
So
Throw her out there in a miniskirt and a tight top. I mean, come on.
Here, I got something that'll, it's a little more of a lighter mood kind of item, but it's funny because this post on X was like, look, if we really want to sell nuclear energy, we just need to do it to 2000s emo and people will understand it. So here, I wanted to see, let's get Comix opinion too. Listen to this.
Ever wonder how nuclear power plants work? It sounds like sci-fi, but it's really just a way to heat water. It works like this. It all starts with uranium, a metal mined from rocks refined and shaped into tiny pellets. Each one's the size of a sugar cube.
By the way, this is why our electric bills are going up so high, because people can make AI music.
Yes.
Yeah.
Holds as much energy as a ton of coal. The pellets get stacked into fuel rods, which are just metal tubes. The rods get bundled together, then loaded into the reactor core. Now here's the cool part. Uranium is unstable. Its atoms want to break apart. When one splits, it releases heat.
Chat's saying it's a little bit loud, chat. Maybe bump it down just a little bit.
It's called fission. Those neutrons
There we
hit
go.
nearby atoms and split them to more heat, more neutrons, more splits.
Like, congratulations, we're explaining nuclear fission. Right after you got through the Black Parade, you can just...
The fuel rods are surrounded by water inside the reactor. The fission heats the water, which heats more water into steam.
By the way, all of our entire system for generating electricity is spinning a turbine.
I know. It makes
Every
me laugh
single
so much.
version of it is just
Mhm.
fucking spinning a turbine.
Yes, it is.
Except for solar, which is just poisonous to your entire zone if that stuff leaches chemicals right into it.
Yep.
But like, how does it...
Geothermal, spin a turbine.
Right.
Hydroelectric, spin a turbine.
Spin a turbine.
Wind,
like wind power,
turbine.
spin a turbine.
Steam spins a turbine.
Spin a turbine.
The turbine spins a generator. Electricity flows out to the grid. Giant cooling towers you see from the highway. That's not smoke, it's steam. So will we run out of uranium? Known reserves could last over 200 years. And there's more dissolved in seawater than we'd ever need.
That's the shit that I didn't know about. I had to look that up. I was like, God damn, like, you just pull uranium out of the water now.
That's
well, they
crazy.
just
I wasn't
found
aware of
a up in, is it Utah or Nevada? They just, in one of the lakes up there, they just found like huge amounts of uranium that you could get out of the water, out of the lake. So yeah, that is a thing. That story came out what, three or 4 weeks ago?
Yep. Dead Man over here, all the small things. It does remind me of
Yeah.
it
It does kind of remind me of Blink 182. But they're not emo. It's Blink 182. It's pop punk.
It's just like, I was like, this is a good use of AI. If we can get people to get on the nuclear power bandwagon, because we should be building that.
Dad Save America did a great video talking about energy and the grid and how it works, and like there's different layers of things that generate electricity, because the bottom layer is basically coal and nuclear power, and that's the thing that they're trying to replace a lot of the shit is like with gas. So because you need to have like this constant amount, and then the issue with coal and nuclear is that it takes such a long time to get the to spin everything up. It usually takes about a day. So you can't turn them on and off. So that's your base layer. And then you have gas, which is the next layer. And that's the one that has the greater flexibility when it comes to turning it off and on, because the way our grid works is that they have to kind of predict the amount of energy consumption that's going to happen, which is the reason why in Texas, when we have a really hot summer and they're like, hey, don't run appliances, all the stuff. It's because of the fact that there's only so much energy that they're either putting out. And the thing is that the grid, and I don't remember what the wavelength is or but it's a wave and it has to stay within this range. And if it goes above or below, it can cause the grid to collapse. Really good fucking
failure.
Yeah. Cascading failure. Really great video. He references another YouTuber from San Antonio named Grady, who I watched his videos a couple of years ago, talking about what happened in Texas in 2021. But it's really interesting, in understanding how fucking fragile our grid is. Because if like everything was to shut off, it would take probably about 6 months, maybe a year to get the electricity back on, because you have to have electricity in order to start a plant. So that's where like the hydroelectric comes in, right? And that's the reason why it would take a very long time, because you have to have a place that has the hydroelectric going on to be able to start up these other power plants. It's fucking frightening. It is really frightening. I highly recommend people understand how the grid works, because it's so fucking important. And it's why renewables are such a fucking bad idea. Trying to get everything to go to renewables. It's not feasible because like if you have a day and it's not windy or it's cloudy and you're not able to get those renewables going, and everything's renewable, you're kind of fucked. So you need coal and nuclear power and then gas on top of that and other forms of way of getting energy. It's crazy. It's really, really interesting how that works, and it's really frightening knowing how it works.
And how easily it can be taken down. Yeah. So last update from the Grammys, I guess. Billie Eilish, while accepting a Grammy, said, "Nobody is illegal on stolen land. We need to keep fighting and speaking.
Fuck off.
Our voices do matter. F ice."
Fuck
If
celebrities.
nobody
Fuck
is
these
illegal on
musicians.
stolen land, the land can't be stolen because nobody's illegal.
Exactly.
I don't think she made the point she was trying to make.
I think what she was word salading her way into applause is
Just
what I
to
think
get
happened.
to F ice.
Yeah. Like this is stolen land and you can't be illegal on stolen land, so fuck ice, I guess.
Yep. But we did have Jelly Roll apparently praise Jesus Christ by name and said they're going to try to kick me off of here, and said nothing about any ice or virtue signaling of any kind. So
Counter-programming.
at least one sane person, just one that also has facial tattoos. Toxic Man Flu for $5. Comix is the Tim Pool love civil war of electrical grid collapse. Yeah.
Sure. I guess. I highly recommend you check those videos out, guys. Really good.
I'll check them out.
Yeah.
There was a time when I wanted to move to Texas solely because it wasn't tied into the national grid, but they went ahead and tied it into the national grid.
Yeah.
Idiots.
Mm.
Texas was the only state that could sustain itself in every way at one point.
I
Because
think
they
that's
had
That
their
was
own
because
grid.
still the case.
the Obama administration like raped them on that to make them have to hook plug in.
Yeah.
It was they were
Once they
forced.
went onto the national grid, then they are not capable of going on their own because it's now tied into the national grid. So, but we're at the 2-hour mark, so I think we got most of the politics stuff done. Unless you got some stuff, Chad.
Not to be a financial advisor, but with Bitcoin now falling to 75,000, don't be a panicon about your investment. Remember, dollar cost averaging is still undefeated as a financial philosophy. So,
And
I
this
still wish I had my Bitcoin.
this exact flag for Bitcoin happened in 2022. Like it is the exact same pattern. And then it jumped up to 100,000.
correct. So you've got to, I mean, this time it hasn't fallen as so much as it did before, which is Bitcoin. Like I always, when people are like Bitcoin, I don't trust it. There's nothing really backing it. And I'm like, what's backing the dollar? And they're like, well, gold and silver have been gone a long time. What backs the dollar is us all believing in it like she's Tinkerbell from Peter Pan.
Well, I mean,
Like,
okay,
it's a fiat currency that has no real hard backing.
It's the petrodollar. I mean,
Well, it's still no real hard backing because
true.
It's not actually tied. Like I don't have a guarantee that my $1 is worth 1 gallon of gasoline or 1 quart of oil or whatever. There's no firm thing. It used to be $1 was an ounce of gold.
Right.
Right.
So
not anymore.
Toxic Man Flu for $2. you should do some videos about it, Comix.
I have a list of videos I want to fucking work on, man. I really do. So yeah, I need to get my ass some fucking gear. That's a good one. That's something I could probably do later, but there's a lot of culture shit I want to talk about, especially crazy celebrities wanting to kill people.
Right. Dead Man for $4.99 says, it's almost as if some people don't understand science from the Trust the Science people.
Yes. Trust the science, which I don't understand. It's fine. What's up, Zax?
Hey, Zax. So yeah, I think we'll play some credits and then we'll probably do some after show for a little bit. I don't know. I haven't talked to the guys. Comix, you usually have to take off, but
yeah,
Chad,
I gotta
you
go.
Stick around for a little bit.
I'm tired.
I got to go in early tomorrow morning, and with the storm from last week and the road still not great, I can stick around a few minutes, but I can't stay up as late as I normally would.
Yeah, we'll just do a little bit then. So here's some credits. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for the super chats. And speaking of, talked for another $5. Comix will finally be ready to do videos and the electrical grid will collapse.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. I'm hitting. Oh, fuck.
It's like,
why did I lose power?
The episode of Twilight Zone where he's the only one left in the library and all he wants to do is read in his glasses.
I finally had time. I finally had time. By the way, oh, that's a good one. What's your favorite Twilight Zone episode? The old one. Everybody our age usually has one.
Oh, God.
Mine is The Obsolete Man. I absolutely love that episode.
I need to, I'll be honest with you, it's been a very long time since I've actually watched classic Twilight Zone. I don't remember. I don't.
I don't know the name of the episode. It'd probably be the Bill Shatner with the thing on the plane.
I believe that's Nightmare at like 10,000 feet or 20,000 feet or something like that.
I didn't watch a lot of Twilight.
There's something on the wing.
There's something
on the wing. On the wing.
Something.
I didn't realize that was Bill Shatner. I remember that they redid that one in the Twilight Zone movie.
With John Lithgow, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was the segment where someone didn't die on set.
Mark Daly for $10 comes in with, even at its all-time low, full faith and credit in government beats full faith and credit of the internet. And if you don't believe that, I have a Nigerian prince to introduce you to.
Except I found out a lot in the last few weeks that we've been paying a lot of Nigerian princes or Somali princes with our full-faithed government money. So maybe that is causing me to question a little bit.
On Zach's last night, we watched a scam where an old lady was putting thousands and thousands of dollars into a Bitcoin machine to send over to Nigeria or India or Pakistan. Good Samaritan stopped her from doing it by calling the cops to get her to stop. It was an interesting video. I have never seen one of these Bitcoin machines where you just go into a convenience store and put in money and get Bitcoin on a, yeah.
Yeah, there's actually a convenience store not too far from my house that has it. Because I asked the guy about it. I was like, what the fuck is this thing? He's like, it's a Bitcoin machine. It's like you can literally purchase Bitcoin here or cash out. He's like, yeah. I was like, that's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. Zach says, yeah, she had gotten $40,000 out of the bank to go deposit to send over to these people scamming her.
Why?
Because she's 80, 85 and doesn't know any better.
I don't know, man. My
mother-in-law
mom
click on freaking anything on Facebook.
My mom, she's 85, but her old person vice is conspiracy theories.
That's better than most.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll take it. It just gets frustrating when I just keep telling her it's like when everything is a conspiracy, nothing is, Mom.
Right.
It's all planned. No, it's not. People just take advantage of the situation.
Does she get into the Q stuff?
No, but it's, you know, a lot of like, she firmly believes that the whole thing with the fact that Derek Chauvin knew, what's his name? That
Floyd.
Yeah, it was a conspiracy because of that. It's like, that doesn't say anything. It doesn't mean anything.
There's much less public ways of killing somebody that you know.
Yeah.
been
It's
doing
like I
on the street.
I was explaining this like I was trying to tell her, it's like, look, the crazy shit that you're talking about is the jangling keys. Meanwhile, the World Economic Forum is literally telling you what they're wanting to fucking do.
Yeah. Oh, so is Schumer. Schumer got in front of a mic this week and basically said, yeah, we want to make a route to citizenship for everyone who has come in, not just the Dreamers, every single illegal that is here now. And they are going to try to shut down the government again just to try to defund ICE.
Okay.
The funny thing is they can't defund ICE. They can only... ICE is funded through the One Big Beautiful Bill. By the way, that's why Massey can go shove it. That's why it was important to pass that bill. Like, they can't defund ICE. It's been funded till 2028. What they can defund is the rest of Homeland Security, which involves TSA and a lot of the things that average people are using to make it as uncomfortable as possible during a shutdown. Like, now we've already funded through other appropriation bills a lot of the, government, so it won't be it. That's why they call it a partial shutdown.
Right.
Most of the agencies are funded and good to go. So it'll be interesting to see who blinks on this one. I know that Paulina Luna is saying that they're going to attach the SAVE Act when they go send it back to the House, because
the Save America Act,
yes, since the Senate made changes to what was sent over, it has to go back to the House to be re-voted on, and so the House is expected to attach the SAVE Act through. That's what she's saying, and then it would have to go back to the Senate again to be repassed by them, since the House changed it. Because they don't do what used to happen is they used to do what's called a conference committee, where once it was passed in different forms between the House and the Senate, they would form a joint conference committee made up of House members and Senate members to hammer out the unified bill that would then go and be passed by both houses. That's kind of gone by the wayside. So,
yeah. Well, and from what I have heard, we do have 49 confirmed votes for the SAVE Act in the Senate now.
And Thune
just needs to bring it and kill the zombie filibuster.
Yeah, so there's 49 co-sponsors. So that would generally be, if you're co-sponsoring the bill, you're going to vote for it. Thune has said he supports it, but he hasn't gone on as a co-sponsor. So that would bring it to 50, which would mean that Vance could break a tiebreaker, because the Red Queen of the North is probably going to vote against it,
right?
Because she's in a re-election year, and by the way, she's the best you're ever going to get out of Maine. So people who don't like Collins can suck it up. She votes for people when we that we really need to get through when we really need it. So she's as best. Like, be mad about Murkowski, don't be mad about Collins. Murkowski from Alaska.
Murkowski's bad out of a state that could produce better.
Yeah,
Maine's never going to go red.
Whereas Susan Collins, it's like, you're mad that we got a Republican out of Maine and she votes for most of the Republican stuff. Be happy, man. Like, take the W. Don't be on it. That's a win. You're not getting. There are no congressmen from the Republican Party in all of New England. She is the only person in all of Congress out of New England with an R next to their name, and people are like bitching about her. It's like, sometimes you got.
She is annoying as hell,
but you got to understand the real world, man. That's as good as you're gonna get.
Did you guys hear Rand Paul on Joe Rogan about the illegals?
No,
he wants to give them all sorts of shit too.
Well, no, he wants to let them stay and not have right to any Medicare or social benefits. So basically a slave class.
Whoa.
You can be here, but you have no say in anything, and you cannot get anything.
If we made it so that people here illegally, or even, whatever on visas, were not actually eligible to work, on the one hand, yeah, I get what you're saying about
you get more self-deportation.
People wouldn't stay. We are a magnet for this because We give immediately, you walk in and you're like a Somali, you're making 60 grand a year in benefits just for being here. You get subsidized housing, you get WIC, you get SNAP,
You get a phone.
you get
Obama
an Obama
phone.
phone, you get all that stuff, and you don't have to do anything. Now, would it be possible? Probably not. I think what we really need to clean things up, the SAVE Act on the elections. We need to get to the Supreme Court needs to lock down citizenship, and if they come down the way they should, that's going to be a big step. And if we clean up the census, those three things would right there by itself would end up going a long way to unfucking the country.
SAVE Act, birthright citizenship, and census with no non-citizens counted. Changes all the numbers on the electoral map, on the Congress, everything.
I forget which person it was who said it in an interview when I was watching it, but like this whole like the bullshit about immigrants built America. Yeah, immigrants who got nothing for coming here. You know, there was a big difference between immigrants pre-1960s and now. Like if you
settling versus immigrating.
Like if you were Irish coming over during the potato famine and you got to America, you didn't get WIC and SNAP and subsidized housing. Your ass got like, you know, you got to go work. You got to go work in the factory. You got to go do this. You got to like, as famously depicted in Gangs of New York, you got to go right off with your boat, and the man in the family can go sign up to be in the Union Army, so you can, you know, go fight for your new country immediately. Like there was no guaranteed services and stuff when immigrants came over. My family who were Italian came over. They didn't get anything for coming over. You got the reason there was Little Italy is because they pooled together as a group to afford houses because none of them were getting enough money at the time to go out and just build a suburb for themselves. Eventually, immigrant classes assimilate. They become part of the culture. They make money because they get assimilated and start working. That's fine. What we're seeing now is not assimilation. It's still separatist.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you gotta get to that. Like when you see the ICE protests in California waving around Mexican flags.
Yeah.
You know, if you feel that strongly about it, you go right back down there.
Yep.
It's not that far.
You can cross that border just like you already crossed it.
LA to Mexico is what, like a 40-minute ride to the nearest border checkpoint? Maybe an hour if you're going, I guess, down near San Diego, where they've got, I guess, some border. If you don't want to be here, don't be here. Now we can shut it off. Now there's things we should be doing more that we like. I think if Trump really wanted to swing the midterms immediately, he needs to shut down H-1B visas. I've seen somebody suggest he do a 2-year moratorium at a minimum, like from just
on any immigration.
Just declare an emergency. Say there's no, because what did Amazon just announced 12,000 layoffs, right? And then immediately it started leaking where there was Indian and data, like computer engineering groups talking about how they're getting more work now from Amazon. Like they're not.
Yeah, that fucking never works out well. By the way, yeah, I actually a childhood friend of mine who works for Twitch got laid off.
And I agree.
Was
with
it
Bill.
Was it the
don't
hot
just
tub?
shut off the H-1Bs? Shut off all immigration.
Yep. I would say
legal,
like
illegal, all of it.
Yeah,
I would shut off colleges coming to colleges. The only immigration that I would leave open would be the O visas, which are the extraordinary individual visas where you have to prove you're fucking Albert Einstein to get a visa to come.
Well,
to
I mean, that
United
actually
States.
makes sense.
Yeah, so that we've talked about that visa class before. So, that's where I think there could be, an immediate or at the very least, I would do it if declare it a national security issue to outsource any services to India and Russia or any foreign country. If your company does business with the federal government, like Amazon Web Services does, or Microsoft does, if your company is doing business with the federal government, or any way involved with Department of Defense or Department of State, you're not allowed to outsource any of your business. It all has to be United States and United States citizens. That right there, you're going to get because all these people don't talk about, but Microsoft, Amazon Web Services, they're all intertwined. They all have at least one or two DoD contracts that are paying them money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I would say that the quickest way to do that through executive power would be to tie it right in. As president, has wide latitude to declare national security matters like that. And it's not like we haven't had data breaches left and right to justify it. It's a quick solution that could immediately do it. A
quick solution that immediately gets enjoined.
But it would
by
get
a district judge.
Yeah. But here you go. Then you've got, then you're going to put, this is the part where you have to put them on record, right? You want to put them on record as defending outsourcing jobs to India. That thing polls lower than dirt. No group outside of maybe the hardest core Democrats would support it. If you want to swing independents back into your camp, do shit like that. This is low hanging fruit. These are 99-1 polling issues.
Yeah.
And that's how you
should be done.
Plus, then Trump can say, I'm not destroying businesses, right? I'm not keeping Comcast from outsourcing their call center. I'm just saying that if you're a business doing stuff that involves national security, you can get effed if you're not going to hire Americans. You're not doing it. And it would put them in between a rock and a hard place. Maybe Microsoft might be able to, but I can tell you from being in the GovCon world, Microsoft does a lot. They've got a lot of Azure servers
Yes, they do.
spun up for government agencies. Yes, and that's a lot of their Azure money. They want that Azure money, so it's not cheap for what they're doing. For
I deal with
space. Azure
pretty regularly for one of the customers I work with at my day job, and he's in it's medical, but specifically with the government, so it's government Azure. That's been interesting getting all that set up.
Yeah, so I would think that do that. That's quick. Just you'd be if you're president, you're I'm not interfering with the private sector, but if you want a government money and it's national security, you're not getting H-1Bs, you're not outsourcing anything, you're cut off. And immediately they'd have to start hiring a lot of American data, computer sciences, engineers, etc., to try to make up for what they were doing. Not to mention, the quality would be so much better. How many times in the last few weeks have we heard about how Microsoft fucked up their operating system because it was some guys in India who didn't actually know what they were doing pushing these updates?
Interesting. Yeah. Well, it's funny because having dealt with Azure support quite a bit, all Americans, having dealt with SonicWall support, all South Americans and some Indians as well, but primarily I've talked to people in South America. So that's been interesting. But yeah, it makes sense that Azure government would only have American people.
You would think.
You would think, yeah.
But can check for memes because we forgot them last week.
All right, I got a bill, guys. It's
looking.
It's close to 11:30. So,
all right, Comix. See you tomorrow night.
See you
on
tomorrow.
Comix Vision's channel.
Indeed, follow me. I'm pretty sure everybody here
see
follows me.
This week.
I don't know if there were any. I looked. So, yeah, we'll catch you tomorrow, Comix. Thanks for hanging out.
Night, guys. Take care.
Good night.
Bye.
Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, I don't see any memes this week.
Okay. I wasn't sure because sometimes they're put under your
Yeah,
and people
Deeple
already went to
doesn't-
bed. So
yeah, it doesn't look like Deeple dropped a bunch. So
somebody asked a question back here a little ways. Well, Zach's asked which Schumer is your least favorite Schumer.
I mean, they're related, but
Yeah.
Clearly Chuck. He's done more to impact my life
Way more
unhappily
damage.
than Amy has.
I can ignore Amy.
Not to mention, very early in her career when she was on Opie and Anthony, it was kind of funny sometimes. Before she decided she had to run away from making all the jokes she was making at the time.
And Righar asked the other question. I keep hearing about QAnon being a massive big deal on the right, and basically nobody I watch was talking about it or taking it serious. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. It was all so deep that most normal people weren't even paying attention to it, couldn't even tell you what it was, but the left was calling it out as if everybody on the right believed it. Kind of like the Project 2025.
What is
Except
it?
Project 2025, you could actually go read because it was just a think tank product. QAnon is crazy.
What was the quote from Seinfeld? It was George Costanza. It's not a lie if you believe it, Jerry.
If
you... I mean, I'm sure the Comet Ping Pong Pizza people are still knee deep in there.
Well, there's a whole bunch of stuff in the Epstein files that alludes to the food code in a lot of the emails.
So this is where the Epstein files, like, people need to understand and apply some discretion between reports that were made randomly to the tip line,
like from Australia.
Yeah, a lot of like the stuff where they're like Trump was trafficking XY was after
It's just a list of unsubstantiated reports where the police actually interviewed the people and in most cases said they're nutcases and they need mental evaluation.
Yep. Now, that is different than emails from Epstein to pretty much Democrat lawmakers planning their entire
or at least fundraisers
system. Yep. So I think, and this is where, again, some stuff I think is sensationalized and overblown, like the stuff with Trump where it's just random, like, because anybody could call that tip line from anywhere and do things. And that's true. If anybody who was reported on that tip line where it was completely random and unsubstantiated, I don't want to like troll those people who might be celebrities or etc. for that, because it's like there's nothing, like there's no genuine evidence coming from it. Now, if you were emailing with Jeffrey Epstein directly, like some Obama officials were who worked in the CIA and some of these other things, that's a little different. That's where you start putting that critical thinking hat on and start saying, why was that going on?
These are direct communications, not somebody that's just calling on a tip line.
Yep. So,
but
that's why,
and we didn't really cover much of it tonight because it just came out and there's so much crap just flying around out there, and it's so much information to try to get through to have any clue what's actually in there. And I don't think there's going to be anything in there.
A lot of stuff that they're really publicizing, like at least on the internets right now, is to try to go after Trump for X, Y, and Z, and it's the tip line stuff where it was specifically after he was in the public eye,
after he entered the political world.
So I don't trust, like, that's the part where I don't like, and knowing that, I can understand this is some of the stuff where Trump was like, I don't want to necessarily put everything out because people were making the most random, ludicrous, crazy reports onto this tip line because it was from anybody. And because I think Trump rightly anticipated that it would be so salacious to see celebrity names coming up all over the place that it would just start getting reported, and there's no way to unring that bell once there's a
and
headline.
Not everybody who had an email conversation with Epstein was doing anything. I mean, like Elon Musk was brought up in it, and Elon was basically, it was Epstein kept emailing him trying to get him to meet with him, and Elon was like, no, and just ignored him. And so Elon's in the files, but it's not doing anything other than being like, no, I'm not going to meet with you. That's it. So yeah, there's a lot of names that'll be thrown out there, but you've got to look at the context of where they're in there and what for. And it's a ton of information, so it'll be a while before anybody goes really all the way through it, but we'll see. I guess we're doing the after show before the credits tonight because we went another 30 minutes just talking
That's
about
true.
whatever. So we'll probably run the credits, let Chad get to bed, and we'll see you guys next week. So again, thank you for the super chats, memberships, everything. I did do a gaming stream last night, so if you want to see some old school Brahma doing gaming, there was a stream last night. Not many people got notified, but interesting little game, reincarnation insurance program.
Nice.
It was fun. So check that out if you need something to watch. And yeah, we'll catch you next week. Well, Chad, you want to tell them where you're going to be this week? Sorry.
We're gonna. I think, are we doing a History Interrupted? Is that our new name?
I think so.
On Mad's
new channel
Tuesday, and then we're gonna have Ascendant Art Friday 9 p.m. Eastern. So good stuff right there. I don't know what the topic or story is gonna be yet for the Mad show. He usually gets that to me on Tuesday. So hopefully we'll see.
He would hate you if you told everybody what it was before the show anyway.
Mad's new channel. Yeah. So that'll be the next place where I'll be hanging out with this crew. So, but on the way out, feel free to get memberships to Brahma's channel to support the team. It's not too late.
And also, if you didn't watch George the Giant Slayer show today, I was a guest on there again with Paul Chatto and Verbal Riot. So,
oh, nice.
Something else you can watch.
What'd you guys?
And
talk
George
about
will
there?
be on here in a few weeks. We're trying to work it out. He's had some family situations, so. We talked about a lot of the same stuff we talked about tonight, just from a more pop culture entertainment lens than the purely political lens. But we talked about what's his face, Esposito. We talked about Don Lemon a little bit. There was most of the same kind of stuff.
Nice.
So yeah, that's another thing you can check out. Go sub to George the Giant Slayer if you're not already. And do go check out Ascendant Art and sub over there. But as for me, I'll be on the usual gambit of shows this week. I've got, let's see, Comics Division Monday and Thursday. Tuesday night is over on Mad's channel. Wednesday, there is a Christian panel this week, but I will be at the Avs game, so I'm not going to be on that Christian panel, assuming that Keri gets it put together. And then Friday is Ascendant Art. Saturday, we're doing a makeup, bourbon, and boarding as the NHL goes into the Olympic shutdown for a few weeks. And so we'll go over everything that's happened in the last 2 or 3 weeks in the NHL, as they will not be playing games for a while. And then Sunday, we're back here. So great to see everybody. Have a good night. Here's some credits. Updated
Later,
credits.
everybody.
But not the updated song.
Is this? We're still waiting for Mad to get on making that for you.
I think he's got it done. He just didn't have a way to upload it into EV Mux for me. And now he's out of commission for a bit. Although he did show up towards the end of the show, say hi in the chat. This is the closest anybody will ever come to hearing this actual song.
That's, I don't know, it's not terrible.
I even fixed your name, Lil Chad.
Thanks for that, finally. I didn't ask it to screw up.
the funny thing is, it's how it parses in Excel from YouTube. So, all right, everybody, have a great night. As the song said, thanks for the memberships. Night.
Bye, everybody.